great beer, and even better conversations. Welcome to Mind Hops, the podcast with more dad jokes than you can shake an angry fist at.
Sweet Lord, Martha, it's one of those bags again.
Don't step on it, Ted.
It's poop again. I'll get you damn kids for this.
Broadcasting around the world from Ocala, Florida, here are your hosts, Trenton Summers and Jack Brennan.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Mind Hops.
Episode 11. I'm still counting over here.
You're still counting.
In fact, here's a little surprise topic. We didn't talk about this one. It's not going to be long.
Okay.
We are now a real podcast. We're in the top 50%, I guess. Right?
Yeah, we're past 10, 11. We're on 11 right now.
Yeah, there's something like 2 million podcasts on Apple Podcasts, I guess, and most of them don't make it past episode 10. I think it's about 700,000. So we made it big finally.
Yeah, we're actually a thing now. Congratulations, guys.
Anyways, we got a fun episode for you today. Yeah. First time with 4 people on. We got C-Raw and G-Raw.
What's up? Don't call me. Yeah.
we got Christian and Garrett. We had a little bit of a discrepancy last time C-Raw was on. Garrett wanted to come in and clear some stuff up about a childhood story they had here. Also, we got Paradoxes coming up right after that. Yeah. We got a little newlywed game since you guys have been friends for so long.
We gotta find out.
All right.
Just how well they know each other. And
this is only be like our third honeymoon. It's our
4 hours counting.
This is our honeymoon podcast. Yeah, I forgot what our anniversary.
The third
is.
honeymoon. I think it's the plastic honeymoon.
It's anniversary. Or something
also,
like
we got May the 4th today, so we'll
yes, sir.
Probably dip into some Star Wars fun stuff. Christian's a freak for Star Wars. He knows everything.
Yeah, we call that
I'm
foreshadowing.
50-50 on it.
I'm like all my facts.
Like this is the one with Beam Me Up, Scotty, right?
with the elves.
I love that one.
Seth MacFarlane made this one, right?
Yeah.
The space elves, right?
There's a cowboy. Liam Neeson's a cowboy.
Rick Moranis, right?
Yeah. Ghostbusters. Hell yeah.
Ghostbusters. That's a good term.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
That's a good term. I know that. I got that one.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's clear up some controversy over here. If you guys want to fight it out, we got some boxing gloves or some of those. We got some of those Boppets, the big inflatable ones.
I've accepted that Christian will always tell this story incorrectly. But do you want to recap?
Before you start, you cannot have the table, by the way.
Okay. No. Okay. Yeah.
This is furniture. Garrett's saliva is pouring out of his mouth right now.
I cried all my tears out before I got here. That's what I've haven't been doing since like elementary school because Christian was a bully.
Miss Carpenter really.
Miss Carpenter was the bully. She's still a bully, and I love her for it. I didn't love it when she was there, but now watching her like deal with second graders, I'm like, yeah, get those kids. It was okay. So we'll go back. We'll go back to second grade.
If I had back wiping music,
yeah,
we're traveling back in time. I wasn't prepared for it.
Just imagine the Mario N64 thing when you're going through a picture frame. That's what I'm seeing right now. First day of real school. So I had been homeschooled in kindergarten. I went to this other private school for first grade, but I already knew all the kids because like during my elementary years, during K-5, I would go and play recess with them and then go back home and do like my homeschooling. So I already knew everyone. This was my first time at a new school, and so I walk in, and the thing is that like when I was in elementary school or when I was in K-5, my grandma was my teacher, so she taught me. But the thing is that after we were done with kindergarten, they got desks, and I don't know how they got them, but they got desks for us to use for kindergarten, and then I got to take my desk home for kindergarten. So I was this confused little second grader on my first day of school, and so I asked Mrs. Carpenter, hey, do we get to keep the desks? Because she asked if there's any questions. And then the entire class erupts. And if any of you ever had an entire class of second graders laugh at you, that will still shake me to my core today. Yeah, it will still shake me to my core.
Quick question: why did you ask if you wanted to keep the desk?
I just explained it because I got to keep my desk in kindergarten.
Okay, so
and therefore. Kindergarten was also school
carried over for you.
Okay,
so yeah, it's. I don't know.
You were starting a collection.
Is this really like a confusing topic?
You actually thought that you would be able to keep that thing?
We've talked about this like 20 times, Christian. I thought this was a pretty nice desk, and I would like to keep it because I was a greedy little second grader, and so That is a story. So I was crying.
I just found the right music for this. This
is the return to modern day.
Play the intro again. And so I was crying, not because I couldn't keep the desk, but because my first and best friend was laughing at me, and I didn't know it yet. So I was
laughing because it was a stupid question.
It was a stupid question. It's still a stupid question.
Thinking about the flashback kind of part of this, you guys ever seen George Lopez? I'm sure you have. You've woken up in a cold sweat at 3 a.m. And you?
Yes. I've seen it. Wait,
so you know how they do the flashbacks in there, and it's like a little kid body, and George Lopez's head just like just like edited onto it. He looks like a fucking lollipop.
It's so scary.
That's kind of what I'm imagining Garrett right now.
That's terrifying. And then I have to relive the trauma every time Christian tells it to the world. He's been waiting for like 15 years. Oh. Christian's been waiting.
Wait, is Nickelodeon have mercy on our souls?
Is this the intro you're talking about?
Yeah. This song still slaps though. I mean, it's still great.
So you said something like when you were in her class, she was kind of strict, right?
Oh yeah.
So, do you work with her now?
Yeah. Maybe.
Wait, you do?
We're not like with her. Like,
wow.
We're at the same association.
The same location.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that the story could get any more like.
Dude.
Well, it's
crazy.
Not like,
I like Mrs. Carpenter. I gotta say.
Well, we said her husband was the high school principal, so I mean, I know the family.
Okay.
She comes into a certain store that we all visit occasionally.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'll have to point out.
We let the cat out of the bag a couple episodes ago, but we still don't have to bring it up again.
We could. She can design a nice little set for us then.
Yeah. Well, have you ever asked her to build you a desk? She is a carpenter.
I tend to stay away from the really, since my last name is Artman. People tend to make those jokes to me. I'm like,
she goes, I'll make you a desk if you paint my dog.
Yeah, if you paint me a painting. I'm like, I don't paint. I don't even know how to I don't even know how to write my name.
We could really spruce this place up with some paintings and some new.
I got a guy.
And a furniture. Yeah.
I got a guy. He's local. He has some surrealist kind of morbid painting.
An Artman?
Yeah, he's not an Artman, but he does art though.
I thought your name was Artman because you are a work of art. Here.
No. So if we want to go into the the history of the name Artman, it's German and it directly translates to farm man when you translate it back to German. So I am just a peasant.
A serf.
I'm just a
mere serf.
I am the descendant of a peasant.
The lowest tier.
Yeah,
you were not highborn.
I hope I was a substance farmer, just like struggling to make potatoes or something.
Oh, when you said substance farmer, I was thinking like poppies or like heroin or
Like
something.
Even better. I don't know what my.
Wouldn't that be a good professional name for a drug dealer? I'm not a drug dealer. I'm a substance farmer. That's like a distinct difference.
That's a highbrow way.
We got a good crop this year.
I'm an unofficial pharmacist. That's what I do.
Do you have your license?
I just dabble in the agriculture just a little bit. I just dabble,
That's great. So we're going to talk about some paradoxes, right?
Yeah,
so you guys are familiar with paradox? Are you familiar with paradoxes, C-Raw?
So
you want me to let me educate you a little bit. I'll give you a little tutorial here. This will kind of explain some of the different paradoxes. There's several different types of paradoxes.
If I were to tell you I always lie, do I always lie?
Welcome to Top 10 Archive. A paradox is a question or statement that completely goes against logic.
So
from
listen
time travel
along,
to the twin paradox, we're giving you our picks for the top 10 mind-blowing paradoxes.
This isn't Mojo, top 5.
Yeah.
Number 10, the liar's paradox.
There you go.
Okay.
The liar's paradox is best illustrated with a piece of paper. Written upon it the line, "This sentence is false." Now, follow along. If the line, "This sentence is false," is true, then it is indeed false. However, if the sentence claims that it is false, then it must truly be false. Though if it's false, then it must be true. And there within lies the paradox.
Did you get that, Christian? Did you understand that paradox?
It's a statement that contradicts itself.
Right.
And then you go into,
Give me like an example.
That was the liar's paradox. So I'll give you another example here.
Can you just give me an example?
It's an ongoing contradiction of conclusions formed by illustrating the common belief about what true and false actually means. And even though the phrase is completely in accordance with grammatical rules, there is no value to determine absolute truth.
Oh, I get it. It's very clever.
Number 9, grandfather's axe paradox.
Oh, I like this one. Can I
The grandfather's axe, paradoxically, is also known as the ship of Theseus paradox. Imagine you have an object, a ship, or in this example, your grandfather's wood axe.
This is the thing
now,
from
throughout regular use, the axe
WandaVision.
becomes damaged. First, the handle splits, so you go out and buy a replacement.
I forgot
Later,
about
the head
that.
of the
Still the
axe chips,
original,
and grinding it down is no longer an
You
option.
take all the
So
pieces
you
away,
set out to
but it's
replace
still
it.
the
with a
original.
new
You replace them
axe.
all, they're all brand new.
It's
I
at this
forgot
point
about
the
that. That was in
ancient Greek
WandaVision.
historian
So it's
Plutarch
something
raised
that
the question:
is
if
true
the
and false,
entirety of an
essentially.
object is replaced,
Depending on
piece
the
by
context,
piece,
is what you're saying,
does it
right?
truly remain the same object in
Because it's
question?
not the same, but it also is the same.
I would say it's different.
It's really cool. So there's
But, yeah.
so it's the same thing with like the human body, because it's like, well, what constitutes like reality and what constitutes like consciousness. So like you shed your cells like every few months. That's why you have like
Right.
dust and stuff. So if all your cells are
Dead skin
eventually
cells.
replaced,
Yeah.
is like the person you were a month ago the same person, or are
Yeah.
you a separate entity? Because even if your brain cells like are
Yeah.
being switched out.
And
I
saw-
thought you said you shed yourself. Like I
You
like
really
shed
do.
my
You do.
skin.
Technically,
Yeah, you do.
You do. Your skin,
your
skin
skin
dies.
Your skin like flakes off and then it's replaced.
I was,
You're right.
I was watching a video too. I think it was like Vsauce or something. They were talking about that, like how if you shave your beard, the next beard that grows back is not the same. You know, it's different, a different beard. You'll never have that beard anymore that you shaved off. It's gone forever.
Never shaving or cutting my hair ever
Yeah,
again.
it's big.
Same
Why
with
is,
your
why is
hair.
that, though? Because it's all the same hairs. You're just trimming them, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
But it's a
DNA.
different. Yeah, but it's not the
Different
same.
parts of the hair.
Yeah, different parts of the hair. Different. That would be like I don't know. I was gonna say something really racially insensitive, but I'm not gonna do it.
So like, go out,
let's avoid that.
so like, go out and cut my front
Yeah.
lawn, and it grows
Yeah.
back. Is it not the same?
It's not. It's not the same
Yeah.
grass. It's
Yeah,
different grass.
It's a little bit
I'm not
different.
removing the grass though.
Huh?
I'm just like
Yeah,
changing the
you're-
size of
you're-
it.
It's still,
removing
it's
the top
still
layer.
technically the same grass, but it's a different part of
Yeah,
that piece
yeah.
of grass.
Yeah, identical. Well,
Yeah, and it'll never be the same. And the same with your facial hair. Like you'll never once that's gone. That's a new. You know, just like that whole the whole theory is talking about. Like it's you replace it piece by piece. It's still technically the same thing, but it's not the same parts. You know, so
Yeah.
it's something different.
Here's a kind of a fun one actually. I looked this up before the episode, to be honest. But I'll replace with a local bar. Let's say you're going to Body
Yeah.
Shots. You know, nobody goes to Body
Who goes
Shots
there?
anymore because it's so crowded.
Very classy.
Nobody goes to Body Shots, but it's crowded. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like Kmart's.
Let's
like,
say, hey, you want to go to Body Shots? No, it's always crowded there. That's like saying nobody goes to Body Shots because it's so crowded. But there's people
That's
there.
fair. That's fair.
See what I'm
That's
saying?
like Kmart. How is that still around? Nobody shopped there.
Well,
But they stayed around for a while. They're not around anymore, I don't think, but
Yeah.
for years.
like when you replace, so these are really fun, like in theory, but when you replace it
Yeah.
with like pragmatism, like is it like functional?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it doesn't really matter if the axe is the same axe or not. It
Yeah.
still can kill you and it can still chop wood. So
Right, right.
That's the realist.
That's the realist.
Well, it's
yeah,
just like he was talking
very-
about the cells. It's like you still have cells,
Yeah.
but they're not the same as before. They're gone. So
Yeah.
this is a totally different. Same with your facial hair. It's like you're never
Yeah.
gonna get that beard back.
Yeah.
It's gone forever.
And you still identify as you, even if you have a completely
yeah,
different.
that,
concept.
Even
that
if
version
you-
of you is gone.
Yeah.
Even if you pick a booger and eat it, it's not the same
So,
booger anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
Still
a cool.
salty though,
it's-
probably.
I have a cool. It's a.
I would
It's a
imagine.
paradox. You'd imagine. No personal experience.
Exposed.
No, I was never that kid, but I did know a lot of kids that ate their boogers and just.
and you like
disgusted
took a
me.
survey on them.
Yeah, they told me it was very salty. Yeah, they ate glue too. They like to eat glue.
Your first day with the cell phone, you just you run up to a
Yeah.
kid
They're
and you're like, "How'd the
hard
booger taste?"
glass.
Like, "I never ate my boogers." You're like, "I have you on video. You better
I
answer
did.
the fucking question."
Answer the question.
I did smell those markers though, but they
Yeah.
were scented.
Oh.
They were scented markers.
I stacked those bad
That's
boys.
illegal.
supposed
You can't
to
do
smell
that.
those.
You can't do that.
Garrett
You're
trying to keep
supposed to. Why would
markers.
they be?
Yeah, they're my markers. Yeah, I'm actually just a klepto now.
I kind of feel like were you the kid that went over to the kids' houses and you play with their toys and you're like, "This is my toy now."
Oh no, I never I don't think I really stole that much at all.
I've never stole it. I don't think.
I just was like what is it? I would want it, but I would want my own. Like I don't want yours.
Yeah.
Yours,
Yeah.
yours is
Tainted.
trash.
It's tainted.
It's good because it's mine.
Your dead skin cells are all over this thing.
Peasant.
Yeah, well, I have what's
You
called
Artman.
It's a paradoxical dilemma. So it's like a little bit different.
Yeah.
So a dilemma is a difficult choice between two different like hard choices, and
Yeah.
then a paradox is one that doesn't have a clear choice or answer. So picture this. In the future, we have advanced AI. So AI keeps coming like forward and forward, and it's progressing. Okay, so AI gets to the point where it becomes like true AI, intelligent. So eventually, the intelligence takes over the world. but it's a benevolent. It's a
Skynet,
good.
but
yeah,
not
it's
evil.
Skynet, but it's benevolent and does have the people's best interest. Okay, but the problem is that there is a population control problem. So it has to eliminate a certain part of the population benevolently. So let's say like humanely. Okay.
This reminds me of American Airlines, where they had to like randomly pick people to take off the plane, and they beat the shit out of that Asian guy and dragged him off.
Get off.
There we go, paradox right there.
Definitely, they had to beat the shell of the Asian guy for all of us to survive.
The way the robot decides,
Thanks, Asian man.
The way the AI decides on
Thanks for your sacrifices.
on who to remove from this mortal coil, the one it decides is here's how it works, is that it says anyone who knew about the creation of the AI itself, because the AI is now, for all intents and purposes, God. Anyone who is not proactively for the creation of the AI back in its existence. So I forgot to add one more thing. The AI obviously is omniscient, so it knows it is able to predict human behavior perfectly. It's able to know every thought that you had in the past according to the data and the biometrics that it had that are recorded right now through our phones and through everything else. It has access to all that. So what it knows basically the past, the future, and the present all together at the same time. So anyone who was, when the AI was being created, but like say Elon Musk, if you were not proactively for the creation of the robot, that you knew was being created, then you would be eliminated. So the paradox is that now that I've explained this to you, if an AI is to be created and you guys are not for it, then you must suffer the consequences of not being for the robot. So I've put you into a dilemma.
It reminds me of you ever hear the basilisk? You're familiar with that? It's like a Reddit thing.
Yeah, I think so. It's something similar.
Yeah. Well, couldn't the AI just like take their ability to reproduce away, and then over time the population? That'd be a more humane way, right?
Yeah, that would obviously be the most humane way. But this is a paradox, so we don't go by the rules.
Please don't touch my pecker.
Yeah.
I got one that one of my friends back in high school. He did a little presentation on this self-driving cars. Let's say they get put in a sticky situation. They're behind like a semi truck that's carrying some boxes or something, and they have a regular car on the left, and they have a motorcycle on the right, and the boxes fall off the truck. And the car's main thing is to protect the driver.
Yeah.
So,
how many people are in the car?
I don't know.
Is it one or two?
I'm honestly not sure. I can't remember. I just know that it had
need a number.
The car has a moral dilemma at that point. And what does it do? Does it take the boxes for the driver, since he's probably going to be safe or whatever, because he's in a car, or does it go for the motorcycle driver with the helmet that
he's going to die?
He was actually I fucked up the explanation. It's a motorcycle on the left without a helmet, motorcycle on the right with a helmet, I think.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, did they take out the one with the helmet because he was more safe? It's really weird with the self-driving cars and stuff like that.
If it's one person, you just take the boxes, man.
Take the boxes.
Yeah. So he's got to survive the boxes.
You're the one who bought the self-driving car.
Let's redistribute the wealth of the Tesla driver.
What if he just slams on the brakes and gets rear-ended and then sues the guy behind him?
That would be the ideal, but that's
there was someone behind him too. He was like boxed in. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, boxed in. Okay.
You're too pragmatic for this conversation, Trenton. You're just like, well, what if he just?
I'm analyzing too much.
He was covered on all four sides. I remember that, and there was something about.
What if you just strapped on your boxes properly?
If this man could afford after self-driving car, he probably had an ejector seat that he can just straight shoot out with a parachute.
It's not the Batmobile.
Perfectly fine. This man is Batman. You're talking about. I already know.
There's an official name.
Batman would just beat the shit out of the boxes.
There's an official name for the paradox, and it's called the Trolley Paradox. If you guys haven't heard of it,
okay.
Yeah. So it's called the Trolley Paradox, and the same thing. You're standing on the side of a railroad track, and there's a trolley coming. It's the exact same one. So it's that one. And for
and one way there's nothing, and the other way there's puppies, and you pick the puppies always.
It's the difference between active. It's the difference. Yeah, it's puppies or humans or whatever. But there's actually there's you can do whatever you want.
I'm just killing puppies now.
Essentially, if the
puppies aren't contributing to our economy.
They don't. Yeah.
Give them COVID.
That does change the substance of the paradox. But essentially, you could be able to switch out anyone on the tracks, and it shouldn't change the value or your answer, because you can switch out the one person you're saving for family member, and it shouldn't change your answer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different.
Personal, so
there's a lot of different.
I see what you're saying though. Objectively, it does. It's
for a moral paradox. Paradox. You have to find one answer.
Yeah.
There should be one answer, but it's really, really interesting. I looked into it way more than a normal person should.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
Have you ever seen the video where these guys like break into these parents' house and it's like a fake break-in, and then they go, "We're gonna kill one of your kids. You have to pick her. We'll kill them all." And then she goes, "Jimmy." Wait, I mean, it's like she had to pick somebody. He's like, come on.
Yeah. Is this the same Jimmy from the dad joke?
No, I just made that name up out of that.
Now you know.
You remember the Jimmy joke, right?
Little Jimmy.
He remembers them.
And at the end of
He's just mad because he got called out on the Alabama joke, so he wants to take it out on Jimmy, so he had to come up with another one.
Trying to do 2 Alabama jokes.
No. The next one will be a Hawaii joke.
All
Don't
right,
worry.
we're going to continue on here. We're going to go with some more paradoxes. We're going to go through some more.
Number 8, the twin paradox. The twin paradox is a thought experiment dealing with the laws of physics in particular. The paradox involves identical twins, one who stays on Earth and the other who takes a high-speed rocket into space, only to return years later. When the space-traveling twin returns home, he finds that his twin on Earth has aged much more rapidly. The result is puzzling because each twin saw the other twin as moving. Number 7.
You guys got any comments on that one? Kind of got that one. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that was
right?
a good one. Yeah, I like that.
The twin paradox. Yeah, all right.
Grandfather paradox. Now this one does get up,
Now, Jimmy, do your balls? No.
as it's based upon the hypothetical concept of time travel
We've kind of-
and creating
This one's
inconsistency
pretty
by
popular.
altering the past.
Even the tiniest change can alter the future in ways you
Simpsons
can't imagine.
It is.
This paradox is also sometimes referred to as Hitler's murder paradox. A time
Sure, we've all
traveler
heard
goes
this
back
one.
in time to kill his grandfather before he would meet his grandmother. As a direct result, the time traveler would never have existed in the first place to make the trip. So, if he never existed, he could never go back in time and murder his grandparent, resulting in his undesired birth in the first place.
So that one's pretty straightforward, right?
That one's a cool one. The time travel is usually like highly involved in these.
Yeah.
My birth was undesired.
Have you guys seen?
I think most of ours were.
We can bring
least
the anime from
2 out of 4.
Have you guys seen the Tokyo Revengers that's out right this season?
No, Tokyo Revengers.
What? Yeah, it's really, really cool. Basically, this guy, it has to do with time travel.
Yeah.
He can go back in time, but he can only go back, I think it's like exactly like 7 years or something back in time.
It's kind of like our superhero.
So not less, not more, just
No, it's
7
exactly 7 years,
Hey, Jack.
and then the time spent in that time period reflects on the main day. So he leaves his consciousness and goes back to his like former child body,
Yeah.
and his other body is like in a comatose state. So
Yeah.
and then if he moves forward as a child, and then he like goes back in time, he comes back up like 3 days later. So it's a really cool, interesting way to
Yeah.
do time travel that I haven't seen
Kind
before.
of like our superhero St. Patrick's Day episode that nobody listened to. We had a similar hero in that one.
Yeah, go ahead,
You
check
guys
it
should
out.
Go back to that one. That was
time,
pretty
time
funny.
travel's hacks though. So.
Yeah, time travel is hack.
Don't make it a
Actually did listen to
superhero.
that.
Black switch.
You're one of our 15. Thanks, man. Solid. Let's continue.
Number 6, Zeno's arrow paradox. This paradox was proposed by Greek philosopher Zeno of Elea. He did it to support Parmenides' doctrine, which claims that, contrary to the evidence garnered by one's senses, the belief that plurality as a concept is true, specifically that motion is nothing more than an illusion. Zeno states that for motion to occur, an object must change the position which it occupies. Using an arrow as an example,
This
he
one's pretty
states
cool.
that at any one instant of time, an arrow is neither moving to where it is or where it is not. It cannot move to where it isn't because no time elapses for it to move. However, it can't move to where it is because it's already there. Simply put, if everything is truly motionless at every instant of time, and time is composed of instants, then motion is an impossibility.
So how do I jack myself off then?
Did you guys understand that?
I did.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So it's basically talking about how, you look at a movie, like classic movie where it's like slides, like a projector or something like that, where it's like motion is each individual slide, or if you do a flip book or something like that, it's like your animation is an illusion of movement because it's individual frames that look like movement. So it's basically saying the whole paradox of, if the arrow doesn't actually move in between instances, how there's movement can't be possible. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the gist of it. So.
I see what you're saying,
Yeah, that's
Technically, in each instance, it is motionless.
right.
At that
Technically,
instance.
it's like a picture. Yeah, and if it's not moving in between instances, there's no possible way it could be moving. Yeah, so
Get it?
interesting.
It's kind
Number
of like,
5, Hempel's paradox, the raven paradox. This paradox is brought into being by the questioning of what exactly evidence is. It was first proposed by Carl Gustav Hempel to show the contradiction between intuition and inductive logic. He starts the paradox with one simple statement: all ravens are black. Now this is where the logical train of thought arrives. Everything that is not black is certainly not a raven then. So, in any instance of the second statement being true, the first would have to be true as well. The reason that this conclusion is considered to be paradoxical? Because it implies that information is produced about the raven by looking at any object that isn't black. Number 4. Causal Loop Paradox. The causal loop paradox is another paradox having to do with time travel. This paradox happens when you use an event of the present, usually in the form of an object, action, or bit of passed-along information, to make the initial event happen in the first place. This is also called the Bootstrap Paradox. Much like a bootstrap is used to pull yourself up, this paradox can be exemplified using George Lucas. Say, for instance, after the success of the original Star Wars films, George would use a time machine to go back in time and give his younger self the scripts that spiraled his success. Ultimately, the causal loop paradox forces an existence without a creation point. Number 3. Crocodile Paradox. Imagine, if you will, a young mother walking along a riverbank with her small child. Then suddenly the kid is snatched up by a crocodile.
What do you mean he's been abducted?
Yeah, by a crocodile or something.
A crocodile?
Or something.
The mother panics and pleads with the crocodile to relinquish her child. The crocodile replies that if the woman can guess whether or not he will release the child, then he will release it.
What kind of crocodile is this?
If she guesses right, the crocodile will release the child. Then there is no paradox. However, if she replies saying the crocodile will not return the child, that's where we're left with a paradox.
Why a crocodile?
If she is correct in
There's so
stating
many
that
things they could have used, man.
planned on letting the child go in the first place, breaking his word to release the child if she guessed right.
They could have used
If
Jared
the mother was
Fogle.
wrong, and the crocodile did indeed plan on
We know he's not going to release the child.
The crocodile must now keep the child, though his
Jeffrey
intentions were not to do
Epstein as a
so,
child.
again making it break its word. Number 2. The Friendship Paradox. The Friendship Paradox was first
There are no real
observed by
friendships.
Scott L. Feld in
You're all
1991.
enemies.
I don't need friends.
He states
They
that most
disappoint me.
people
I
have
don't need
fewer
friends, I have
friends than
desks.
that of the friends they have, on an average. Using a sampling bias as a base, Scott claims that people with a greater number of friends will face an increased chance of being observed with one's own friends.
I don't get it.
To really simplify it for you, he's pretty much saying that those with more friends are more likely to be your friend to begin with, because they have a higher inclination to actually go out and make friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
Number 1. Paradox of Twin Earths. The paradox of twin Earths is a thought experiment, first presented by the philosopher Hilary Putnam in his papers Meaning and Reference and The Meaning of Meaning, used as an argument for what has now become known as Semantic Externalism. So we begin by supposing there is another universe with a planet just like our own, and we'll call this Earth 2. On Earth 2, there is a match for every person, animal, or thing on our Earth, except Earth 2 doesn't have what we call water. Instead of H2O, they have a different liquid that we call XYZ. Those from Earth 2 call their liquid water as well. Herein lies the paradox. If both Earthlings refer to water, are they referring to the same thing?
That's it, I'm getting out of here.
That seems like a super complicated one. Is that the last one?
Yeah, it's the
That
last one.
seems super complicated because there's a much simpler way to to explain it. One of them is
You okay, Trent?
I stubbed my toe. Sorry.
there's a much easier way to explain it. And it's not a paradox as much as it's like really trippy.
Yeah.
Is that like what if no one sees colors the exact same way,
Yeah,
like the exact same
which is
color.
true.
You've just been taught that like yellow looks like that.
But that's a little convoluted because there's people that
Are
are
actually
colorblind,
colorblind, yeah.
or there's apparently females can see different shades than us too, right?
Yeah, they can see about
more
like
different.
6 times as much.
Yeah.
Approximately. I went over all this and like kind of blew.
I didn't
some
know the
serious
amount,
minds.
but I did know that they have.
It's
much
a
higher.
lot. It's like they can see. Okay.
Why they use makeup?
They can see
Is
like.
that why like all the shades that look the same in the mirror?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, this shade matches
No,
people.
I was
Interior
actually-
decorators.
So what I did is I pulled up the they can see about, I think it's like 3 million more colors. Like say we can say men usually on average can see about a million variations.
We're savages.
Thought left was black and gray.
Females, I'm colorblind. So.
Those are the 3 I can see.
But females can see about like I think it's like 3 million, and I'm probably wrong on those numbers, but it's like 3
And
times.
that's why they always argue with you.
The difference between they can see colors more clearly. So I put in front
This is why we have no female audience or guests.
We have 16% female audience. It's probably 10 now.
It's really, really cool.
Females are great. I love the ability to see more colors.
If you look into, so I put up the black and white dress, or the black and gold and the white and blue.
No, it's blue and black and
it's all gray.
That one, whatever color it is. I pulled it up and
we can't tell.
And I was showing all three. They have a slide that shows like all three. They oversaturate, undersaturate, and they do warm tones, and like almost all the females saw a slant to I think it was gold and blue, gold and white, whatever. They saw a slant towards that, and then all the gentlemen saw like a slant towards the other one.
I like how he calls gentlemen.
I can kind of like phase this in and out if I really like try to look at it.
Oh no, I can see
it's
why.
It's really hard to see white and gold for me, but I can see the black and blue more often.
I can see why you would say that, especially when they do the saturation. But like, but I deal with colors a lot too with like photo editing.
Are you transgender, or Garrett?
No. Okay. I'm not very good with colors, but
if you were to transfer to different genders, would you see more colors?
No, it has to do with it has to do with you.
It's like Naruto, where they take out your eyes and give you the Sharingan.
The answer is no.
I can see the draw to it now. I want to see more.
Yeah, you got to do the surgery. You got to do the transgender surgery, and then you got to kill
tits and 3 million more colors.
You got to kill your best friend, get the Sharingan.
She's sweet.
I'm gonna look at that picture and be like, "That's gold and white."
Yeah. It has to do with cones and.
We made it, boys. We got a gold and white dress.
It's the cones and rods in your eyes. So women tend to have more. I think it's cones, and men have rods, and rods deal better with. Yeah, men have better rods. I had the joke that was kind of loading in for. You want to say it? You got it. Okay.
I actually learned about cones and rods in a flight exam one time. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I know a decent amount. I
see the light and I go towards the light.
It's because in the dark you can see better with your rods, and in the light you can see better with your cones, because the cones take in the light, and at night the rods you can see better in your peripheral vision.
Men see better at night.
Men have better black and white vision, so because they see more in black and white essentially, and then they can also pick up motion, and so they catch motion better, and they also catch better motion out of the peripheral. So like it's easier to sneak up like on a woman. Don't ask why I know that.
As you
stay out of my truck.
As you have your hood up.
I do like people watching, and like, I can see.
All right, this is getting creepy.
I can see. Well, no, I can see when people.
When you got people watching.
It's like I'm in peripherals. You don't know I'm here.
There's a woman in your backyard right now.
When I walk up next to someone, like behind them, and I go to pass them, on average, men notice me sooner than women.
On your left.
Because, on your left.
Coming up on your left.
And they always, but women, like, actually, I've noticed it, the physical response, like, time is different.
Women don't notice him at all.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Just men.
Women don't notice me. The first thing Christian says is just.
I was about to say, Christian's been quiet the whole time and just comes out with a fucking banger.
A lot of this stuff goes over my head, man. I don't know what to say.
By the time they notice,
this is my chance.
By the time they notice,
Christian's the guy who won like the Danimals, the Danimals contest. It was like get invited onto Mind Hops with Jack and Trenton.
Christian's like, I don't know much about history, and he's like, but I can roast Garrett when he says something stupid.
One thing I know I can do.
That's a slapper right there.
It's a slapper.
Animal House right there. This man has not seen Animal House.
You're talking about the dresses. So do you remember that other thing where it was like the Laurel different things?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a correlation to gender on this?
That's a sound thing. I'm not as clear. If I were to guess, I would say I don't know.
That's a good guess.
It would have to do with pitches more than actual
with bitches. What's wrong with bitches?
It would have to do with
they can see more colors.
If I were to guess off of just what I know,
another female
I would say men and women probably can hear slightly different frequencies, maybe, but it would have to do with the Laurel.
Would you think that women's ears would be like more sensitive to the frequency? Maybe
it would probably be men can pick up. I have no clue. I'm not a biologist.
You're too scared to say it.
I'm just guessing. Probably lower frequencies. Lower frequencies, so they can hear.
Men's frequency intake is superior.
If you're going, they could probably do lower frequencies and women higher, but I have no clue.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna look this up later and be like,
I've actually got
right. And I'm
kind of a funny story here. It's similar, kind of segues into it, not really.
The guy who died.
So
Philippine guy.
This is from the Tennessean.com. This is a news article it's an elderly couple uses military Morse code training to escape Tennessee assisted living facility.
Bro.
All right, so a husband and wife briefly escaped from a secure memory unit at an assisted living facility in Lebanon last month by using military experience with Morse code to decipher and memorize the code to an electronic door lock, according to Tennessee Department of Health documents obtained through a public reports request.
He had to make sure his Morse code was really high frequency so she could hear it.
Yeah, the couple who have dementia and Alzheimer's disease are not identified in the state records. They went missing from Elmscroft of Lebanon for about 30 minutes on March 2nd before a stranger found them walking down a road 2 blocks from the facility, according to documents. Once back at the Elmcroft, staff were curious about how the couple had escaped from the facility's memory unit, which is secured by a locked door with an electronic keypad, documents state. The man said he previously worked with Morse code in the military and was able to use this experience to learn the door code by listening as staff punched numbers into the keypad.
Yeah.
Documents state. As a result of the escape, Elmcroft of Lebanon was fined $2,000 by state officials. You know those people are pissed. $2,000. You know, they're like...
Solid.
Yeah, laying down on them. It says they changed the codes and everything like that.
Who was fined $2,000? The facility?
The facility was, yeah.
Yeah,
because these two people with dementia and Alzheimer's hacked their way out of this.
I'm kind of rooting for them.
Yeah, I know it's kind of cool.
They can't help that they got Alzheimer's.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's kind of like it sounds like prison. Like you're being held, and I know it's for your. They think it's better for you, but it's like.
Isn't it crazy that he communicated with another female from skills he remembered from the war? Like he got trained.
I feel like he earned his freedom with that kind of
he should have
effort he had to get out.
What were they probably paying him to live there?
What were they in prison? What were they in prison for to begin with?
They weren't in prison. They had
being old.
I know. It seems like prison, right? It was assisted living.
It was assisted living.
Assisted living. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, for being
old.
Maybe I got dementia.
They had Alzheimer's and dementia. Yeah.
I firmly believe that if it was prison, he would have still gotten out.
He would have gotten out.
It sounds like
he probably got out, and when he was in war camp, and he was in war.
When they were walking down the road, they probably completely fucking forgot.
Yeah, what was going on.
They're like, you want to go get some Denny's?
Like, shit, where's my wallet?
He thought he was in Nam, and he finally escaped, and then he just forgets that he's there. He's just on the street. They used to have on that note. They used to have when you're typing in your PIN for your debit card or whatever at the store, it would have different tones because that was based off of the telephone model.
I remember that. Yeah,
and then that was obviously a problem because if you're a cash register, if you're working the cash register, you can hear the tones and you get used to what the numbers are. You know what the pin is
on the phone too. You can hear when people press numbers. You can hear the different tones.
Some guy used to. Some guy is a story. A lot of people.
Listened to a lot of prank phone calls growing up. So
these people, you could just go up to a payphone and then make the sounds, or you would have an app when payphones were still a thing, and you could play the tone on the app, and then you could get 25 cents, a few minutes, and just play the tones on
This is an unrelated article, but I thought I'd throw this out there because I thought it was fucking hilarious, the title. McDonald's robber demands chicken nuggets, has to accept breakfast food because it's still too early.
Got him.
And this is from Yahoo News.
We don't change the rules for everyone.
I'm not even kidding you. It says a man has been jailed for robbing a McDonald's in England and making off with not only some cash in England.
So he only would have gotten a 6-piece anyways.
Don't
sell anything higher than that.
6 pounds, quids.
Quid.
Only some cash but food. Unfortunately for him, not only did he get caught, but he also wasn't even able to get the meal he was hoping for the entire time he robbed.
He's still.
It says
he wanted that McDonald's Sprite.
Yeah. On his way out, he reportedly demanded some of the fast food franchise famous chicken nuggets. Unfortunately for him, it was still too early in the day, and the restaurant was only serving items from his breakfast menu. Apparently, he was unwilling to wait for some nuggets to be cooked, so Batten made off with a double sausage McMuffin instead. He reportedly stole more than $600, which I don't know what that amounts to in pounds or quids, but it was $600 US from the restaurant. He was reportedly identified by CCTV because in England they have CCTV everywhere. And he turned himself into authorities later that day. It was discovered that instead of an actual gun, Batten had been threatening the victims with an unloaded .177 air pistol. Because in England, I don't think it's impossible to get a gun.
It's really hard to get a gun.
Yeah.
I think they're banned on the island. I know Ireland they are.
It's you need... in England, I believe you can have it, but you can't store it at your house, and you can't store it with ammo. So you have to have a third party to store it for you.
Crazy.
You have to go down to the armory and then sign out your own gun, and then get your ammo, and then you can't. And then you have to return it like a library book.
My boy got 6 years in prison for that. by the way.
All that for McDonald's?
All that for McSausage and McMuffin.
Hey, you won't do it again, that's for sure.
At least do Zaxby's or something.
If I was hungry, I'd rather
I'd
rather McDonald's for 100.
We barely got Zaxby's in Florida.
True.
Yeah, right?
I think it's only a southeast thing.
So today is May the 4th, right? May the 4th be with you. This isn't going to air until next week.
Actually, wait. Before we get to that, we got a little tiny sidetrack real quick. Tomorrow is May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And I am drinking my first Dos Equis.
I am drinking one of his Dos Equis
and I'm
as well.
Pretty good. Big fan of it, actually. It's got a little.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
So usually we announce a beer. I don't think I did last time.
Yeah, Dos Equis, and I've got some Jack Daniels on deck for shots, and then Yukon Jack.
Yeah, I'm not.
Jack's older brother, who's just way
stronger.
He beat you up a little bit, you know. He's the abusive father.
Anyways, back to May the 4th. I just wanted that side.
Yeah, May the 4th. This is a story for you guys because it's more like in line with May the 4th. And we live in Florida. We've already doxed ourselves, so you guys know we live in Florida. So this is a Florida story. Jacksonville.com. This is the Jacksonville News. Costume Dark Lord overcome by force of a jar of salad dressing in Jacksonville Beach. So the all-encompassing force made famous in the fictional Star Wars universe didn't extend to a Dark Lord wannabe in Jacksonville Beach Sunday. Instead, the Darth Vader costumed would-be robber of an 8-till-late convenience store was pummeled with a jar of salad dressing inside the store and sent to the hospital after he was caught by the police Sunday.
Golly.
So, yeah, this guy tried robbing I'm guessing it was like a convenience store, which I don't know any convenience stores that have salad dressing. It was like a jar, too, like a glass jar.
I mean, you know, there's Buc-ee's, there's Wawa, Racetrack. Those are nice. They have a ton of stuff in there.
Glass jars? That's like a fancy.
It might be
pretty fancy. But I mean, I'm not in disbelief that this doesn't exist. It's just
You ever been to a Buc-ee's?
I have not.
It's
enormous. Yeah, I've seen videos of it. Yeah,
it's.
We're supposed to be getting one, or is there one in Florida now?
I don't fucking know.
I think we're supposed to be getting someone in Florida soon. I remember seeing something about it.
Has anyone here been to a Buc-ee's other than me? You guys gotta check that shit out.
I might have. I heard
nice gas station.
No, you know what?
It's more than a nice gas station. It's got like 120 something pumps. So, it's like the size of a Walmart.
He didn't rob a fancy one, because if you're gonna rob a gas station or a convenience store, you're not gonna you're gonna definitely do a mom and pop, because you know the security is gonna be like shit.
Right.
Well, actually, no. I see the counter argument there. You would rob a Wawa because you know that they can afford to lose some money. The mom and pop ones are probably super try-hard with security cameras.
You're probably right.
Because they can't afford to lose any money. So actually, I take that back. It probably was a fancy.
Buc-ee's is just so big that you could like shove some in your pocket and they wouldn't even know you were in the store.
There's a Buc-ee's in Daytona Beach, Florida, and in St. Augustine, Florida. Apparently.
Let's go right now.
Take a field trip, podcast field trip. We want to grab your microphones right here.
We were just in St. Augustine.
Oh, you're right.
How did we not? Wow.
Because we were more focused on the beach and the clubs.
Garrett, you want anything? I'm going to run up to Buc-ee's real quick. You want any food? Anything? You want anything?
I'll be back in exactly 2 hours and 15 minutes.
2021. Here's an article. Here's when Buc-ee's will open its first location in Florida. I guess it might not be open yet, actually.
They're talking about it, though.
Yeah, it's going to be in St. Augustine.
What about Daytona? Is that one already opened?
When I looked up Buc-ee's, there is directions to Daytona. So.
I'm sure that one's open then.
Yeah, it might be convenient.
I think actually I have family that lives in New Smyrna, which is right next to Daytona.
Family,
and they actually brought it up last time they came down for like a family get together. I think it is there now. I think it just opened up.
Wild.
Now that you unlocked that memory in my mind, I remember.
How's it hold up compared to Wawa?
Dude, I'm telling you, Buc-ee's is
enormous. I've seen
it's
videos. It's
Walmart gas station. It's big.
Yeah.
It's like 6 times the size of a Wawa. I'm not even exaggerating. It might even be bigger than that, dude. It's gigantic.
It's like from Ohio.
It's worth it to check out. I don't know where it's from.
Texas, I don't think I remember seeing them in Philly, so it must be like on that side of the country.
Philly.
I couldn't tell you.
Philly was Wawa.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of them in Texas. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident in that.
I got another article for you guys. This is probably gonna throw. I talked to Jack. I talked to Jack about it earlier today. It might be too old for you guys. I don't know. But do you guys remember the Noid? It was a Domino's mascot. Avoid the Noid was like the old saying. It was like this dude in a red suit, and he had like bunny rabbit ears. And I don't know the initial. The Noid was like you can look it up.
You'll recognize it. Yeah, I guarantee you.
Look it up, and I don't remember what he represented. Basically, bad pizza, like the I don't know. disfigurement in pizza. The Noid was like the bad thing about it. So there was a whole thing about like back in the day, probably in the like 80s and 90s, maybe in the early 90s.
I think it was mid to late 90s.
I should recognize this guy.
Yeah, the Noid. So that was a thing.
I think we had commercials in early 2000s of him even for a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
But
he
wasn't super
He had
popular.
video games and stuff like on the Nintendo and whatnot. Anyway, it was part of he was their mascot for Domino's. Like, avoid the Noid was the thing, and he always tried to corrupt the pizzas and stuff. And Domino's like, fuck the Noid.
Give me that pizza.
We'll beat their ass.
He would come on the pizzas.
So there's this funny. This is an old article from the Washington Post. The Domino's is actually bringing back the Noid as a mascot. You know,
really?
He's been gone for a while. He's actually in one of the new Crash Bandicoot game. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. It's kind of crazy. But this is an article talking about why they initially discontinued the Noid. So it says Domino's is bringing back the Noid, a mascot that once drove a man to take hostages. So it got really dark real quick. Okay, so. The article says, moments into Sean Burnsed's work shift at Domino's Pizza restaurant, his first customer whipped out a gun. The perpetrator rounded the corner of the counter as he demanded $100,000 in a white limousine that could serve as a getaway car. Like, who uses a limousine as a getaway car?
Why
We'll never find him.
Yeah.
White is a very easy
white.
spot.
You could tell this was like
on it.
You could tell this was like in the 80s or 90s. Nobody drives limousines anymore. No one like wants a limousine, right? So he insisted on taking the company's owner talking about the company's owner directly. Like, that would be like someone if you worked at anywhere, like you go up to someone that works at a retail store and like, I want to talk to your company's owner. It's like, it's such a ridiculous claim to have. Like they have them on speed dial, you know?
I don't even know who the CEO is.
So 5 hours, 2 hostages, and a standoff with the police later. The 1989 incident, it was in 1989, which is the year I was born, so
weird flex.
31 years ago.
Weird flex.
31 years ago.
Weird flex again.
The incident had become an example of a bizarre misunderstanding gone outrageously wrong. The subject, the devilish, buck-toothed, rabbit-eared mascot of Domino's, which coincidentally shared the gunman's last name, Kenneth Lamar Noid, 22 was having an ongoing feud in his mind.
He was my age. Goddamn.
Yeah, was having an ongoing feud in his mind with the owner of Domino's Pizza about the Noid. Commercials, Chamberlain, Georgia Police Sergeant Mark Bender told reporters at the time. Apparently, he thinks they're aimed at him.
That's what happens when you bully people in second grade.
Now the Noid, the red-clad claymation.
He's like watching the commercial. Like, I would never do that to a pizza.
I almost turned you to a villain.
He just had some really like garbage friends who like
that's you, Noid. You know you got made fun of at school.
Me laughing at Garrett. I almost had a
don't turn him into the Noid.
A villain origin story right there.
He's
about to go hold a farmer at gunpoint.
He's already got a hoodie up right now.
If we hadn't graduated, I would have held up like a Pizza Hut or something like. I'm stupid.
So it says,
or am I?
Now the Noid red-clad claymation character, not the real person, has returned to Domino's commercials nearly 3 decades after the multinational chain phased him out. The company announced last week the Noid's rebound, which will include appearances in the Crash Bandicoot gaming series.
What the heck?
Coincides with the Domino's marketing push around its testing of driverless cars, which... That's pretty scary.
They've been doing that for a bit.
Driverless cars?
They've been doing that for a bit.
Really?
Like a year or two. Like, that's been a thing. They will deliver it, and the back seat is like warmed so that
there's nobody in the car.
Yes, it's been a thing. It's not here.
That's really scary because Domino's is like already bottom tier. Like they cut all corners. Well, they cut all corners. I don't know.
There's some Domino's on college campuses that deliver it via robots, like MIT, I think.
Yeah.
Has like robot delivery pizza.
There's
my favorite pizza personally is 5-star.
This company,
and I think that's pretty good. Domino's is pretty low for me, but I wouldn't call it bad pizza.
I'm thinking like Little Caesars is below.
Little Caesars is the worst.
But you gotta say
Hungry Howie's is like
Domino's
just below Domino's for me.
Yeah, I would say Hungry Howie's is below, but Domino's still on the food chain of pizza joints. It's like bottom. It's near the bottom.
You'd say it's on the bottom half.
Bottom half. Bottom 3/4, I would say.
Ooh, that's nice.
I would say bottom 3/4.
I would say maybe bottom half, and that's even a maybe.
Listen, bottom 3/4. There's plenty of room for Hungry Howie's and Little Caesars below that. There's plenty of room. They're the bottom fourth.
Headcanon, I want to say is like Noid's getting like whisked away into the police car. He just whispers under his breath, "Nobody out pizzas the hut."
It'd be funny if they just had like a Noid like cutout in the front seat of the driverless cars, and it like it rolls down the window and it like scares the shit out of you whenever you grab the pizza.
And it just starts running people over because it's like Lamar the Noid hacks the system and he's like, all right, the Noid's back.
Yeah.
That's some scary stuff right there.
That's headcanon for me though. He definitely said that. That happened.
He definitely did. Yeah, for sure. 100%. So,
actually, speaking of comebacks, have you guys ever had the cereal straws like Fruit Loops and whatnot?
Yes.
They're coming back. They're coming back this year.
I haven't had them.
I'm excited.
I've had them a couple times. They're pretty good.
They really aren't the best, but like I don't care.
I don't know. They're nostalgic. I don't know what like spurred them to bring them back, but they'll be back.
Like the whole straw thing when people complaining about plastic and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad reason.
Honestly,
it was a Pepsi Zero, or what was it? It was Crystal Pepsi. Remember they brought that back?
Crystal Pepsi.
That serves honestly no big difference other than like regular Sprite and Sierra Mist and all that. But they brought that back. Just
it's a different color
factor.
Yeah. They
Pepsi Blue would be great.
But you would eat anything as a kid. Like I drink up the milk from my. I think I drank up the milk from my cereal once. No, with a Twizzler with a sour straw. What?
That's even weirder.
I've done that.
Ew! You know, like the sour stuff like curdles the milk. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Which is why did they make sour? You know the Sour Patch Kids cereal? I tried that. It's terrible because just like you said, it doesn't make sense to put.
I tried the Sour Patch Kids Go-Gurt, and that was exactly. It tasted just like Sour Patch Kids.
I thought it was good.
Have you ever had the Oreo cereal? I had that once. I don't think it's around. It might be brought back.
I think we still have it. Cookies and cream. It's just cookies and cream.
I had it at my grandma's house, and me and my brother were like, "This isn't that great." And we found out that my grandma had spoiled milk, and the lumps in the milk were not cream.
Oh,
we were like, "This is lumpy."
I want to try the Eggo waffle cereal, the chocolate one.
I hear it's really good. Well, I don't know about the chocolate.
It looks good.
The original.
It looks good, but I haven't gotten to try it yet.
I'm not a fan of chocolate.
I'm waiting for it to go on sale.
We'll have a cereal review on one of these.
We should.
We do have a cereal.
Taste.
When I play Ring of Fire, one of my favorite categories is to do cereal.
We have a cereal thing.
In
the near future, we'll eventually get to a cereal. We have a good cereal episode.
Ooh, you're right.
Well, that would be hype to like taste test.
We'll sip our beer through the Fruit Loop straws.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Well, cereal mascots are pretty fun.
We'll get these guys over here some non-alcoholic beers, and they can give it a shot.
I just drink milk.
Yeah, some milk. We'll bring Milkman Mike on.
Wait. Would you guys try a non-alcoholic beer?
Yeah. We can't talk about it.
No. Yeah. Milkman Mike's ghost will sue us.
He's have you ever played Psychonauts? The Milkman? No.
I am Milkman. My milk is delicious. I never played Psychonauts, but I know the line.
Yeah. Great stuff.
I never had an Xbox, so.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I would like to. I would like to play Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2. I just never had the opportunity.
Wait, there's a second one?
It's coming out. They announced it 7 months ago.
Kickstarter for it for like a long time, but I never saw it.
They've been working on it for a while. It's probably coming out the end of this year.
Tim Schafer's amazing. That guy's a genius.
I don't know who the fuck Tim Schafer is.
He's the guy that made that. He made Brutal Legend, which is.
I love Brutal Legend. That's like the Jack Black game, right? Yes. Brutal Legend's a lot of fun.
Studio.
It's such a bad game, but it's so much fun.
Anything with Jack Black is top tier.
Dude.
Jack Black's the best.
It's a bad game, but it's a lot of fun to play. It's just like when I watch Mortal Kombat. It's a bad movie, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
It's like it's an RTS if you played real time strategy, but it's like kind of like Smite if you haven't played Smite, but more strategic. So you're building towers and you're building bases.
And it's only against computers, right? Though. It's not an online multiplayer.
I think they had online multiplayer.
I had it on PS2, so for me it was only. Was it not on the PS2?
No, I'm sure it was, but I think they did have an online element where you play against other players, but.
It's not on the PS2.
Brutal Legend.
PS2 didn't have internet connectivity.
They'll have to make it multiplayer.
I think
it did.
It did. It had PSN connectivity.
PS2 did not have internet connectivity.
It did.
No, it did not.
It did.
PS2 did not connect to the internet, and I'm 100.
Okay,
good news.
It did because I know that people flex all the time.
Brutal Legend.
How Sony did shut off PS2 servers.
Brutal Legend was PS3. Okay. So I agree. Yes, it did have probably had online.
It did,
but PS2 did not connect to the internet. Nope.
All right.
Nope.
It did. Nope.
It did.
Yeah, they had game servers.
Everyone.
It did. You had to. You had to have the.
There's no
jack
Wi-Fi support in any PS2. To use wireless internet with the PS2, you must use a third party.
What about wired?
Selected games on Sony PlayStations 2 video game console.
You know that's a thing.
Yep. Offer online gaming or online capabilities. Games that enable the feature provide free online play through the use of broadband.
You gotta remember, like laptops when I was younger, they didn't have Wi-Fi either. Laptops at some point had to only be wired.
I gotta say, I did not.
Yes, I remember certain games. There was actually a Resident Evil game that was online.
I mean, you were right.
Corrected.
It didn't have Wi-Fi.
You're right. Listen, I didn't know you connected in at all, though.
Wi-Fi was not around.
You were both right.
You know, the original Xbox had online.
It's a paradox.
Yeah.
The original Xbox did too. But
it's just not a lot of games.
But it was like
most people
Christian said, it was a flex. It was a weird flex. My cousin connected to Halo online.
Yeah,
but that was back when you had to have wired connectivity. Mm-hmm. It was not something that was like a lot of people had. You know, so
there weren't a lot of games that had it.
There wasn't a lot of games either.
Single player games were just like so big back then. I think it was like Halo and maybe a couple other games.
A couple other ones.
Really no reason to pay.
Like weird Japanese games, like Phantasy Star and like.
And there was like no voice chat or anything, so it was like almost like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I played even
Phantasy Star.
Even like newer games like the Wii, like the first iteration of the Wii, not like all the other stuff. They had online, but like there wasn't voice chat that I remember at least. It was just like multiplayer, like completely silent multiplayer, which was crazy.
There's low key still no voice chat unless you use their dumb phone app.
Yeah, that's lame. Don't do that.
You're talking about Nintendo?
Yeah,
Switch. They don't even have voice chat and stuff.
My first multiplayer experience with video games was Quantum of Solace, James Bond Quantum of Solace online play. It was super interesting.
Yeah.
Like I got kind of good at it because you know I was a kid.
It's like a GoldenEye game.
It was like it wasn't as good as GoldenEye from multiplayer standpoint, but like you picked it was the exact same thing basically. You pick a class, you have a certain weapon set.
Yeah.
But I had it like I had it down to a science of how to play the game because I'd be flipping between like certain character classes to get like, the exact same speed and weapon set because they tried nerfing you by giving you like high speed but low like range. So I'd pick like a really tanky character with a great gun who couldn't move fast and then like intentionally die and then respawn immediately. Grab the gun and then just go on a tear. And, you know, like KD would still be
keeping in mind that Garrett was only allowed to play video games on the weekends kind of kid.
So sweaty.
Man,
I was so sweaty.
This man was.
I remember you were flexing on me that freaking Donkey Kong game with the barrels.
I was too good, dude.
You know what I'm talking about? What was that called?
Rhythm something. It's a lot of fun. It's
Donkey Kong or something.
It is a rhythm game.
Well, that's an.
He used to play that thing like all the time.
Yeah,
but some guy actually rigged those to where he could play Call of Duty on them, and he won a couple
that's Mr. Homeless. Mr. Homeless is the best. He does the best.
But that was pretty impressive.
I love Mr. Homeless. He just made a controller out of ramen. He glued ramen together to make a controller. He also played with a potato once. He does the best thing. He played ranked. He goes on and plays ranked Rainbow Six Siege with like. What was one he did? He did a potato. He did the Xbox Connect. He played like an entire game, like a FPS with
where
Xbox
each like
Connect.
movement he did was a button, pretty much.
Yeah, he did one where he had a barcode scanner and he had a scan gun, and every scan like was a different command. And he played a ranked game with a scan gun.
Wow,
that is honestly amazing.
Imagine dying.
He makes some of the best content I have ever seen.
If you die to that, like to a guy playing with a potato, you're actual dog water.
He's like I gotta. He plays ranked though. He plays.
Wait, let's give him a shout out. What's his name again?
His name's Mr. Homeless on
Mr.
YouTube.
Homeless on YouTube. That's
Please
incredible.
Go watch him.
Go give him a watch.
He says dongo really weird, so I actually have two things that I say is like when I have soup, he does this thing called soup time, and he had like 20 Wendy's soups, and like he goes like soup time, and then like smash cuts to him like sitting there with grease all over his face, and he's like. Too much soup time. It's so funny.
You guys remember Epic Meal Time? This is like an old school.
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
Bro, I loved how they would censor the F words with the chicken noise.
The chicken noise.
I love that. That was always funny to me.
That's how I got like. He always would like dump a bunch of
yes on everything,
and he would say like Jack Daniels, like the way he would say it is like a Canadian guy. He's like Jack Daniels, and put some Jack Daniels in there. And he's like dump like a whole bottle of Jack Daniels in there.
He's so iconic with the beard.
Yes.
I actually just looked him up a week ago. He shaved the beard. I could barely recognize him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like really short now.
Does Epic Meal Time still like go on? Is it still a thing? Or?
It does. It just doesn't get as many views now. Like I went on their channel.
Crazy.
They didn't have like they maybe had like 20, 30,000
that was such
on the newest video, and they used to get millions.
Yes, they were a huge
How they've fallen from grace.
Yeah.
Kind of like Ed Bassmaster and all.
You remember Muscle's glasses? The guy, he had like aviator glasses, and he was like this guy was like really ripped, and he would wear a tight shirt, and he was just like Muscle's glasses. I don't know. He was a character on Epic Mealtime. That shit was funny.
Yeah, I didn't watch it religiously. Good. I'd watch some of it.
I didn't watch it religiously.
The one I remember the most was the guy with the beard. Because he was always the one that
Harley
poured like
Williams,
whiskey on everything.
Yeah, he'd be like, Jack Daniels. A little bit of Jack Daniels, and they'd have like 2 big bottles, and
they'd be mostly through the meal. They'd have the meal pretty normal. And then you would dump the alcohol on it. Yeah.
They always like Jack Daniels.
And then he'd be yelling the F word and the chicken noise. I was like, this is really aggressive cooking.
Yeah.
That's their style, just very aggressive.
100-pound fucking burger. Yeah. Or you go to like McDonald's and get like 100 Big Macs, and then he would like, 100 Big Macs, and can I get a small fry and a Diet Coke? And then they would like do the drive-thru. I'm like, okay.
Some of my friends, they did the 100 chicken nugget challenge. It was like 4 of them, so each ate 25. And I was out of town. I would have gladly joined them for this.
I would take like.
That's what I'm saying.
Like 50.
One of them threw up. I was like, dude, I eat like 30 of these bad boys on the regular.
You need better friends.
You know the one that threw up. He was on an episode.
Yeah, he needs to get better.
Spear of Destiny.
He needs to get
better. Step it up, man.
Wait, is that the one with the pacemaker?
No. It is Mr. Blade Hall. Mr. Blade Hall.
Blade.
Man,
I can see it.
I gotta get a notepad.
Throws up way too easy. What's the notepad? What are you doing? We're gonna do it.
No, you don't.
Editing for later.
Oh, are we not supposed to say his name?
We're not supposed to say.
We didn't say his name, but you just said.
We're not supposed to say the P word.
Yeah.
Which one?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm probably
you won't say it unless we tell you to say it.
I'm probably not gonna edit this, but
I'm probably not gonna edit this.
We didn't say his name, so we're good.
All right.
I can definitely hear everything you guys are saying.
He's whispering.
You guys prepared for some newlywed game now?
Yes. I'm born ready.
I was born ready. All right. So before the show, we had Mr. C. Raw Christian over there and
Christian
Mr. Garrett Farmer over here.
Garrett Artman.
Picking up the cards now?
Farm man.
The cards?
Yes, the card.
Yeah. We had them write down answers for certain questions because they've been friends for a long time. Can you guys give me a reminder here? Second grade, was it?
Second grade, so it's been 11 plus 4, 15 years.
15
Well,
years.
we had a break. We took a break.
Yeah, we did. We saw other people momentarily, but
we weren't
life always brought us back together.
We weren't like best friends immediately either. It was like we knew each other in elementary, and then we were really close friends. We actually were like rival friends.
Friends.
Yeah. When we had Emmanuel Moore.
That's very animated.
When we were
Don't go to Garrett's party. Come to my party. We got Smarties.
I skipped him in line one day. He slapped me.
Yeah, he deserved it. I will never regret that.
I won field day, and he was mad he didn't beat
win.
me. I did. Well, according to Garrett, I did. He ran into me. They gave me the award, and he ran straight into me and knocked me on the ground.
I think he cheated. I'm pretty sure he cheated. Yeah, it was all justified. I did nothing.
I don't know why I'm friends with this kid, honestly.
Anyway, he started we were like, we both had a friend named, we can dream. His name was Manny.
Emmanuel.
And, so in like middle school, we were both friends with him, and then he left school, and then we weren't really good friends, and then in high school we were like close. We've known each other for 15 years, so we'll go with that. We have to do counseling after this.
All right. Got him. And hopefully they're not going to be listening to this podcast here. Came and hang out with the cool kids.
We shall see. Yeah.
All right, we ready for the newlywed?
Anyways.
We're ready.
So we had them write down their answers beforehand, and we're gonna see how well they match up here.
Mm-hmm.
So are we thinking we'll start off with Christian's answers, and then we'll go to Garrett's after on each question?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth.
Or we can start in Garrett's, go to Christian's. I mean, do you guys want to start the rivalry up right here?
We'll do it clockwise. Since Christian sits clockwise.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, so Christian, what is your favorite color? Let's see.
So
pop those answers up.
So
my favorite color.
Wait. He's got to guess. Each one of them has to guess.
Oh, you already wrote it. They already got it written down.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
All right.
Hey, that's a point for Garrett.
Hey!
Wait.
He knows.
Before we finish this, because we were supposed to punish you guys for lemon juice shots or something, but we didn't do that.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
What we're gonna have to do, me and Jack are gonna have to pick one or the other. Like, you want to be on Christian or Garrett's team? So the losing team will have to take a shot.
I'll take Garrett's team.
Okay.
All right, I
man,
want to pick
man.
Christian.
You guys are punishing
I've no
yourself.
Christian. All right, whoever comes out on top. If
You guys want to take shots, so it's like a win-win at the same time, right?
I gotta drive in a few minutes here.
He's not going to the gym.
You pick the winning team. You pick the winning
Anyways,
All right. And
so
my turn. Now
what is
my
what's
color.
Garrett's favorite color?
And ready and go.
Yo, I actually got it.
Yeah. That's a point for Christian.
I actually got it.
I'll take the jack.
Are we announcing them? So, my favorite color was red. Garrett got it right.
Yep.
Garrett's favorite color was green. I got that right.
Correct.
So even Stevens right now, 1-1.
Yep.
Okay, I want Christian to actually say this one out loud.
What's number 2? My cards might be out of order.
It's number 2 was your favorite genre of movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite movie genre.
So let's see. What is Christian's favorite movie genre? We're gonna start with Christian's answer.
And ready and go. I put action. What does this say?
Action
Action
superhero.
is an actual genre though. Am I
So,
gonna
but the
lawyer it?
superhero is always action.
Yeah, it's always action.
Yeah.
Mine's a broader category. That
So
might be
it's kind of like
Africa.
every Raven's black, but not everything that's black is a Raven. You see what I'm saying?
No, that's not right. You're on my team.
I'm rooting for you. My explanation works for
I
you.
say mine is like an action.
Because every
category.
superhero is an action movie.
Wait,
So
I would give it to him because it's
Yeah,
not like
action-
he's off the wall here.
Superhero would be a subgenre because under action you have.
I
it
agree.
would be a subgenre of action, so I think it counts.
Garrett gets the point.
That's a hard one.
That's what I'm talking about. All right.
All right.
So now
Not
what
too
is
confident about mine, but I
Garrett's favorite
Garrett's.
movie genre?
Action.
What'd you put?
I put scary movies.
No, well, to be fair, he was gonna put anime initially.
I thought he put anime.
I would say anime is close to action.
I wouldn't.
I would.
And then what do you put? You
It
put-
depends on the
I
anime
put
movies.
scary movies because
Either
I
way.
figured that
Yeah.
it
He
would
didn't
be.
pick it, so
All
either
right.
way.
Well, that's not.
I think anime is in and of itself a genre aside from action.
Yeah.
Are
It
you
is
keeping,
a-
listen,
it is a-
buddy. You keeping track of the points? You're up by 1 point.
You're here for one job and one
He's a
job
little
only,
boy.
kid.
All
right.
All right. So this is Christian.
What's the next one?
Oh wait, number 3.
The next one is what is their favorite music genre?
Here's the thing.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, I scratched this.
Hold
one.
on. Whatever he puts, my answer's right.
We're gonna scratch.
He won't
this
admit.
one.
He won't admit his answer.
This
but
is right.
this is the
Yeah,
right answer.
this one
so
we probably
this is the
don't.
right answer.
Wait,
This
no,
is
whoa, we're starting with yours. We're starting with your
starting
answer,
with
but
Oh, I didn't.
It doesn't matter
I don't
now,
have
right now.
anything because I forgot exactly.
Oh,
what
okay.
it was.
So you don't get the
It
point
was
on that one.
R&B and soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were.
I mean, we're not
That
getting
was
the point
it was like-
anyways.
yeah. No one's getting the point. All right. No one's getting the point on this one.
So
This is Garrett's.
What'd you put?
What do you put?
Anime
Wrong.
openings.
That's not.
So that's a scratch. No points for anyone.
This is the right answer.
Comedy.
Comedy, dude.
Music?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
okay.
you always play that weird
Weird
crap.
Al.
You know, Carl Weezer and all that. That's comedy.
I don't stick to a certain genre, so it's.
So are you saying
Give him the point.
comedies? I'll give him the point.
Weird Al Yankovic. He likes all
I
that.
like
That's
Weird
I
Al.
fine.
heard what he just
Yeah.
played on the podcast.
Yeah, but that's like all right.
I'm a Weird
Shut
Al
up,
guy.
kid.
That's
I
like
know you
Weird Al.
better than yourself.
I like
Yes,
Adam
I'm
Sandler.
I'm white and nerdy. I'm white and nerdy.
You ever hear Adam Sandler? He's got some funny music.
So you're being competitive.
Lunch
in this.
Ladyland.
What do you mean?
We're gonna have to have.
I'm not competitive, but you're
We're
getting
even,
bodied,
Steven.
kid.
We're even right now.
All right, even. So
All
Christian.
right, what's the next one?
Next question.
Alrighty. What is the favorite season of Christian?
Easy five.
Ready? And
Christian's
go.
favorite season.
Winter. What did?
Oh,
That's a lost point for
That's
me
a
and Garrett
That's
there.
a loss.
Fortunate. All right.
All right.
And then for
Garrett.
mine,
Halloween. Right?
Garrett's
fall.
What?
winter and fall
Dude.
time.
Okay, hold on.
You guys didn't realize you had the same. What?
I'm pretty sure that it's
I put
winter
fall
because when we were in a hotel,
Is he gonna
he
roll
decided to
there?
crank down the AC to like 30 degrees where it's sitting on top of the bed. So I think he likes those
It is
conditions.
winter.
That's just cold, but it's that's a 0
Nah,
points.
you wrote down
0 points
fall,
for
so-
anyone. It's yeah.
I was wrong. What was his fall?
Mine was fall. All right, food.
How the mighty have
Let's
fallen.
go.
Favorite type of food.
I went subgenre here, basically.
Oh, no. Okay, well
That's fine. If
I
it's
think it's
specific
close.
enough to where he agrees with it.
I think I know his
if it's
favorite
If
food.
it's in my genre, then
Alright,
ready.
let's see, let's
So
see.
here's mine.
This is
And
Christian's.
Go. Christian's favorite or my favorite?
Banana bread. Ooh.
Wait, is this for Christian's favorite that you got it?
Yeah, this is Christian's. Did
Alright.
you put that as me? Or
Are you a
did I put
fan
that
of Bob
me.
Evans?
It's me.
So
This is his
banana bread is your favorite,
It's fair.
and pizza that's nothing like each other. So we
Nothing like
lose
each
that
other.
point.
That's interesting though.
And then we'll flip to
That's
Garrett's.
interesting.
Garrett's
Pizza. You got
is
it.
pizza.
Yay!
I knew it was pizza.
I'm gonna be drunk.
Dude, hey, at lunch, he would eat that pizza like a friggin'
That's
animal.
so interesting how
He's not-
they've
yeah.
inverted their answers like 2 or 3
Yeah,
times in a row
seriously.
now.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's really interesting.
I don't think he's gonna get this one. So
right.
I figured there was something before.
Yeah, no, I didn't get this one either.
I thought about it, but I feel like there was no chance for me to get it.
What is
Ready?
it?
All right. I forgot the name of
Tell us,
the
Jack.
stupid thing.
What was
Stupid?
Not stupid. Your
Sorry?
lovely pet.
What was Christian's first pet's name?
I don't remember the pet's name, but it's a turtle.
Stripes.
We'll give it to him. It's a turtle.
It's a
so
turtle.
It's a turtle.
Okay, if he can guess the
you
animal.
didn't get the name, though.
If he knows the animal of my first one, let's call it even. How about that?
It's called even.
Yeah.
So neither of you get points then.
All right.
If he guesses mine.
I mean, that'll be even,
if he
yeah.
guesses
Yeah,
mine,
Okay, gotcha.
It just
So,
the animal type.
What is
see.
the animal type?
And then my first pet was a gecko.
I didn't know that. I thought Sig was your first pet. I didn't know you were counting.
Hey, what was Sig though? Was he a lizard?
what is Sig? Yeah.
No,
Was he?
No,
No,
but
it
Sig's
was-
definitely a dog.
Damn
it.
Can we drop the music tiny bit?
Knuckles
I would've
the
guessed.
gecko
You
was
consider the gecko a real pet?
Yeah, it's a pet.
Oh, beautiful.
Compared to a turtle, it's like in the same.
Well, did you keep the gecko in like a aquarium? Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's fair.
So
then nobody
You
gets
guys-
points.
That's a hard
Yeah,
because I
no
never
points.
talked about Knuckles.
We'll keep that one even right
All
now.
right.
Okay, that actually sounds familiar.
All right.
Yeah.
Is Christian a butt or a boobs man?
I think we both got this. All right, ready? Ready?
Oh, yes.
And go. What?
Oh,
Upset.
We have a
That's
discrepancy here.
That's an upset.
It's wrong.
All right.
Okay, so here. All right.
Christian indulges in the nipples.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
We'll go to Garrett.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett.
And I'll explain.
Ready and go.
Oh man! Again!
Can't win it all. All right, explain, Christian. Let's
Dude.
explain this.
Listen,
What
I've
in the world?
grown up all my life liking boobs more. But this past couple of years, I feel like I've
Butt.
started to lean more towards the butt. But if you had a gun to my head, I'm a day one. I'm a
Day one adopter of the boobs.
Day one baby.
I'll always lean.
I thought for sure you were black.
You know what's interesting is like
Garrett's like, I saw him
They
staring at
think-
mine. So
you guys keep thinking the other person's the other thing that you identify as. You're like inverted every
Why do I do
time.
so many squats then?
Yeah,
Man,
this is
You don't like
interesting.
butts, Why do I do so many
Why do you
squats?
think I was
the girls like the butts?
Why'd you think I was
You
a butt guy?
don't have tits to show off.
I think it's a little bit sensitive for this podcast.
Got him.
Yeah,
Easy.
so- I had my
We'll move on
reasons.
to the next one
I
here.
had my reasons. All right.
Garrett's got his reasons. I trust him.
I got it.
But your reasons were wrong.
I
So
know.
check your sources.
But you guys have the same
Yep, it was inverted.
preferences. You just keep guessing the opposites.
Hey, I could have sworn this was right for him. I could have sworn.
Nope.
I looked back on all the girls you've been interested in, all the girls you take photos of.
Whoa,
then-
You made that sound so bad.
whoa, whoa,
He's a
whoa.
photographer.
Whoa,
guys.
He's a
guys,
photographer.
I am actually- wait. Guys,
that's a crazy diss, and I didn't mean it that way.
I do not
Oh
pick
my
my
God.
models exclusively on attractiveness or how attractive I think.
Yeah.
Let's clear that up. I'm extremely
You could look like Jar Jar Binks and he'd still take a pictures of
Got
him.
him.
No.
I take
know
that
how
back.
He does have
I know.
limits.
People find attractive.
Yeah.
Whether I agree or not is outside of the point. I gotta defend myself.
Nobody likes Jar Jar
I-
Binks.
level on that point.
He doesn't pick his models based on anything other than the amount of money they're offering him.
Yeah.
But I did take it into a factor because I had a reasoning behind what I was thinking. I guess I was wrong though.
All right, so both
can-
butt men, right?
Moving on.
I'm gonna write that down.
No.
It's
No, they're both
Both
boob
boob
men.
men. Let me scratch
No,
that out.
Boob
No.
man.
Boob
No,
man.
he likes butt. I
Oh,
like
he likes butt.
Yeah, we're
He's a
opposite.
butt. You're
Stop
boob.
looking at me like that.
All right. I'm getting in very pertinent information.
He's just-
All right.
Everyone, hide your chest.
Next one.
I have wandering eyes.
One of my questions I'm somewhat proud of
All
here.
right.
If Christian had to lose a sense, which sense would he pick to lose?
Seeing dead people?
Big touch.
Oh, he would pick smell.
I
We're out of
have
another
so much
point.
faith in you.
Yes.
All right. Garrett, are we in the hole? Let's see.
All right, ready?
What
Oh, you gotta flip
what
it.
sense would Garrett lose?
And go.
But
But
But to the butt sense.
it's not smell, Christian. Yeah, I put touch. Touch is what
I
I
said
would do.
smell for him.
dude, you guys.
Oh man!
You guys are like.
I thought you guys were friends. Like, didn't you guys like spy on each other in your little rivalry? I mean, come on.
No, not like that.
I feel like okay. So when I was answering this question, I was like, Garrett's gonna have some long scientific answer to which
Smell.
sense he would want to lose. But I was like, okay, he's not gonna want to lose taste, and he's not gonna want to lose. You know, I felt like smell was the one you can lose, but still kind of keep who you are and like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I was like,
I was
Garrett's gonna take the right answer.
What I thought you were gonna do was that if you can't smell, then
You guys
can't
both
taste
over-
anyway.
No, you can still taste. it's just going to be very poorly.
Yeah, it's not as good.
Why have two half senses when you can
But if you lose taste, you can't taste.
You can't eat ass like you used to.
Taste is more important than smell.
You guys classically overthought every question.
I
Clearly.
can fast on my question.
To be fair, I just want to say this. You said that you can't still eat, and people that go to the hospital and lose, they can get things through IVs. So, if it really came down to the brass tactics here, I can still eat.
IV?
Yes, through an IV if I had to. So
Why though?
So there's feces in your blood.
Inject me. I want to.
Hey, we just talked about this the other week. Does it taste like a chocolate though? Because it's okay.
That's a subtopic. Instead of a topic.
That's a paradox. All right, number 9.
Alrighty.
That's not a paradox.
Is this a place that
if Christian was forced to move to another country, what country would he move to?
Australia.
I guessed on this one.
Oh,
I should have guessed it.
England. He could go rob someone for some chicken nuggets.
I know Christian.
Which one is that? Australia.
Australia. I like that pick.
I feel we should get a point for that.
Man,
I guessed what his was.
I grew up playing a game about Australia, and I always felt like Australia is just kind of like a chill. They're just so chill. They do their own thing over there.
Their voice is.
There's a lot of cool animals.
Nobody bothers them.
A lot of nature.
It's chill.
Yeah,
hot chicks.
I know I'm right on this.
Where would Garrett move?
Bro, I have to be right.
Puerto Rico.
No.
I figured because this is the one country he
Iceland.
Iceland. Never mind. I'd go to Ireland.
Damn.
Why would you go to Iceland?
Man, this is a very low-scoring game. I should have picked some easier questions. Damn.
We're all taking shots.
Iceland's a lot nicer.
The one
you're in the lead right now.
been to is Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
By one
that's
point.
different. That's still like a.
I'm gonna get this next one wrong.
Okay.
This is like
It's Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a hard
this is not
one.
something we talk about.
If Christian was a Jedi or a Sith, what horsepower would he have?
Yep, it's 11.
You knew it was like one of 4 powers. So you really knew.
Choke.
Force choke.
Force choke! That's what I'm talking about, Garrett.
Yes.
Bringing it back.
That's kind of not fair. That's kind of not fair because we had to explain the 4 different ones.
And that's the only one that people know.
Yeah.
Garrett's like, I know Christian's kind of kinky. I think he'd be more into choking.
Actual thought process. You got me.
All right. What force power would Garrett have?
Force its ability enhancement. So
That's
okay.
Force jump. Force jump.
That's like
force
too
strength.
specific.
What did you say? Force lightning?
You actually mentioned it by name.
We were talking about like specific.
Yeah, you said you could run really fast. It's force.
I never. I was the one that's. I said.
Yeah.
I said force speed. I didn't say force ability.
That's part of it. Speed is part of it.
All right. Well, give me the point, but you went way too deep.
You could have done force jump or force. There's a.
I think we need a tiebreaker.
That's the main one. That's the first force.
Tiebreaker?
We need a tiebreaker question.
We have a tiebreaker question.
That's the first ability shown.
11.
No, that's the first force ability shown in the Star Wars movies.
Wait, there's an 11 one on the back?
Yeah.
Wait, did you fill it out?
I didn't.
All right, he can answer this one verbally. It's
It threw me an extra.
Yeah, just answer it verbally.
You can verbally.
Well, no, write it down. That way you can't change it.
Yeah, I can just.
Well, he can guess it, then I can show the card.
Yeah, but then it's gotta go back and forth.
If we tie, you and I are both taking shots.
I think this one's pretty obvious.
At the current moment, we're both at 3 points.
What was the 11th question? I actually forgot.
Would they be a Sith or a Jedi?
Oh, okay.
This was to lead us into May the 4th.
This one's really black and
that's
white.
kind of
probably a good one.
Yeah. Well, we're both men. We're men. We're all men, so we only see in black and white.
If
So
you're rules lawyering, I would say.
Alrighty.
I would
So,
say gray Jedi,
this is gonna be a tie.
if Christian was in the Star Wars universe, would he be a Sith or a Jedi? Got Jedi?
Jedi.
I guess that.
All right. Well, it's still up for
Now,
time.
before we show Garrett's, did you answer from your heart or did you answer to be tricky?
No, he'd be a Jedi.
No, I'm saying, did you answer from your heart?
For
your answer.
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
Garrett, I just want to say,
He's not a
Garrett
Jedi, for sure.
answered Jedi because he doesn't like losing.
All right.
No, you did not answer from your heart. You're
So,
lying.
Christian, what do you have for Garrett?
I have, Jedi. Because he doesn't like losing. He's competitive. I guess he likes losing.
Hey, the Jedi gets their ass whooped here and there.
But at the end of it,
Jedi wins.
It's about.
You can get destroyed in the first 3 quarters. But that fourth quarter,
he was wanting to win. He was wanting to win. That's why he answered. He knew that he was going to pick Jedi.
I answered my first. I didn't know it was going to be.
He did write his first. He wrote his couple hours.
Why do you want to be Sith? Why Sith?
Can I explain it?
I'm not saying he didn't.
Alright,
He didn't
this is
answer
a good
first, but he
segue.
knew that Christian would guess Jedi.
I thought
so
for sure Chris
he
was
gamed
thinking-
it.
So he used a Jedi mind trick. These are not the answers you were looking for.
Jedi then. Only Jedi can use the Jedi mind trick.
So let's say
It's okay.
if we had
I'll
all
take
the
the
options
shot.
on the table, it would be
They
Grey,
cheated, but
Grey
it's okay.
Jedi is what I would go for.
I think they did.
But since Grey
I
Jedi,
knew you were gonna say some shit like that.
But I answered the question properly. It would be Grey Jedi. Do we know the difference?
I know the difference. They're
Do you
neutral.
know the difference between a Sith
No,
and a
I would say a Grey Jedi is closer to Jedi. You say a Grey Jedi.
You're basically just saying
Jedi.
like an anti-hero.
Well, no.
Well, Qui-Gon was
sure.
a Grey, and he trained Obi-Wan, and he was fighting against Darth Maul.
Would
so
you
he's more Jedi.
consider Anakin as crossing over to a Grey Jedi at some point, right?
So actually,
anti-
Qui-Gon was a Grey.
Qui-Gon was an actual Grey.
Yeah.
And then Dooku would be a dark Jedi. He
Right.
wouldn't
Like a dark gray.
No, it'd be a dark. There's dark
So,
Jedi and Grey Jedi. So there's
He
differences.
would. So Jedi would have been the answer. You should.
Is that why Dooku thought he wasn't gonna get his head chopped off when there was another Sith introduced?
Dooku was an idiot. No, so okay.
He was actually shocked
So
at
Jedi,
what happened.
Jedi feed off of light emotions like friendship, but like they reject all emotion, and then Sith embrace too much emotion. So if I had to put myself on one of those
This is
scales,
bullshit.
it would be
This is bullshit.
Remember we talked
Jedi.
Bro,
Jedi was your answer.
Whatever.
Jedi was your answer.
Alright.
and you tried to-
Anyways, out of good sportsmanship, I will take the shot with Trent.
fair.
No, come here. I already
Call
pulled
me a
it.
cheater. It's worse
I
than-
would say you're a cheater. If you pick Grey, though, that is definitely
I didn't pick
closer
Grey. I
to
picked
Jedi.
Sith. Yeah, but I picked.
But you explained it as Grey.
Well, Grey is like a balance. It's by definition. Obviously, like if you had to pick one.
But Qui-Gon would have been closer to a Jedi. You got to answer that way.
So
He fought against the Sith.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
Gray is
Darth
kind of a
Maul.
spectrum there.
okay.
It's between dark and light, but
So specifically, what a
Qui-Gon
Grey
was
Jedi
closer to
is,
light.
a Grey Jedi is that you should stick to light emotions and protect people.
Yeah.
But you also don't think emotions are bad, and you can actually embrace
Yeah.
emotions. Jedi think
And
that
fuck
all
bitches.
Jedi think all emotions are bad, and so
Right.
you shouldn't have any physical attachment to this world.
right. The
And Sith
classic
believe-
Jedi were kind of assholes
and
if
Sith-
you look at the
and-
history of them.
So
to
both
be
the
fair.
Sith and the Jedi are wrong. Like
Yeah.
pure Sith and pure Jedi are both completely wrong.
Yeah.
The Sith rely only on emotions, and Jedi rely on nothing but like the
Yeah.
opposite.
So Gandalf the Grey was the weaker one, and then the white,
Gandalf
the
the
white
Grey.
was the stronger.
Yeah. So yeah, like so Grey Jedi are like the balance. and
Yeah,
the-
I know a little bit about Grey.
But that's
just
it.
from
But if I had to pick
research.
one, like the Sith is more.
All right, I'm gonna end
Alright.
this game.
Yes.
with music.
Thank you guys for playing.
Yeah, that was a
Appreciate
fun
it.
game. That was close.
I
That was actually.
I had a really fun time doing that.
Good one.
That went better than I expected.
Except for Garrett's little last minute cheat.
Yeah,
I think we put about an hour and a half of planning into that overall.
Call me
Yeah,
a cheater again. I'm gonna rob a domino.
I think you gamed it a little bit. I think you did.
He knew I was gonna pick Jedi.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I should have picked Sith.
I thought you were gonna.
You should have,
pick
but
Sith.
just because.
but you
I
were
knew
supposed.
he
You guys
would.
weren't supposed to
You
game each other.
You shouldn't have thought about what
You were supposed to just pick what you wanted
from your heart.
I don't
Yeah.
think you
That's
know
why I
exactly
asked that.
what Sith is. But, like,
Yeah.
you don't have the same
Oh, whoa.
concept of Sith
C
as
word.
I do.
We'll be finding good friends and doing a newlywed game again, though. I had a good
Alright,
time. with
C-word?
that.
That was fun.
See raw? See raw?
C raw. Yeah, I hit him with the C raw.
I got a fun story for
That
May
was
the
fun,
4th,
though.
though. I want to talk
Yeah.
about
Alright,
real
what do we
quick.
got? What do we got?
So Disney released today that they have a
The
realistic a realistic lightsaber.
I did see something about
And
that,
I-
but I didn't click on it.
I looked at the
Can it cut a
video.
limb?
I thought it was
Can cut a limb
clickbait.
off?
No, I don't know if it can do that, but it actually retracts.
Then it's not real.
Like completely, and I don't know what it uses to do it.
It's not
I've looked
actual
into it a little
lasers?
bit, not enough. I'm not
Plasma?
sure. Not sure. The Hacksmiths though, they actually made one that uses
but that
like
was
super hot fire. But
Yeah, that was like a plasma cutter.
I think that's the closest we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out what Disney's is made out of. I don't know if it's like
It's
a beam
made out
or if it's
of-
literally like just plastic that kind of like, whoo,
Yeah,
you know.
it's made of. They're gonna make so much money off of it.
Well, actually,
at
no.
their store.
No, they're releasing it with their hotel next year in 2022. It's like the Galactic Hotel. It's like you take off
that?
on some
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Spaceship and you land at this space place and you're staying in space. It's cool. It's a cool idea.
It is cool.
Cool for the kids,
Yeah.
I want to go, but
Let's do it. Oh, you guys. Okay, you guys mentioned like in one of the first podcasts I listened to was you were talking about like.
Sorry, I had to
Star
turn you
Wars.
down for a little bit because you were.
I was screaming. Yeah,
You guys were fighting.
Yeah, we were
bit,
screaming
so.
just a little bit.
We're back to normal
You guys
levels.
were talking about like the sequels, the sequel movies.
No.
So Christian, did you see the sequels? Because you're the person who probably
he's only
Sequel to
seen
what?
Force Awakens. He's only seen Force
Only
Awakens.
Force Awakens?
All 6 originals and then just the first new
Okay.
one.
for you.
So did you
Good for
actually
you.
like Did you actually like the originals? Like, no pressure. Did you actually like the originals?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the prequels? So 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, you're talking about like I love
chronologically
all
the first 3.
Yeah, the first 3.
I love all first 6.
Okay. All right, and then Force Awakens. How'd that stack up to the
I
originals?
freaking hate the new one.
Okay,
The
so
new one.
That's why you haven't seen the other 2.
I want like a
dude.
non-super nerdy opinion of why you don't like Force Awakens exactly. So what do you think about Force Awakens?
When did you see it?
It's been about 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's more recent than I thought.
Okay.
No, I feel like. I mean, my answer would be just I'm not a big. You know, you go through 6 movies with the original people. Mine's a generic answer. I'm not really like dogging on the film. Good looks on the raising of the volume. Appreciate that, boss.
Yeah.
No, I just don't. You know, you grew up loving all those six first movies with all those characters and stuff, and they throw a couple old characters in the new one. You know, with Han Solo and stuff, but. I don't know. I just didn't like the whole change. It felt different. There's a different vibe to it.
It's like a money grab.
Well,
It felt like it didn't need to exist.
There's
It
a
felt
right
like
way to
they
do
just
it, though.
came up with the idea to get more stories because they could.
There is a right way to do it, though.
Yeah.
And it's like they go. I mean, they own the franchise. They have to make money off of it.
I felt like
understand that.
they did good for if they had to make them again, but I don't think they had to.
If you'd seen the last 2,
I don't think
you would
I
not agree with that.
disagree with what
it
you
really
said.
seems like they had no plan as to where they were going whatsoever.
They didn't. They did and they didn't. Yeah.
I heard people crapped on Jedi something.
The Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi, they both
Last
were bad.
Jedi, I heard people.
No, The Rise of
really don't-
Skywalker was the worst of them, honestly.
The middle one, right? The middle one.
No, the last one, The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that's fair.
I hated that.
I like Solo. I haven't seen Solo yet, but
Okay, that's a side story. That doesn't really count as part of the.
Yeah. We won't.
I haven't seen that one either.
It's good. It's not amazing. It's good.
Comparatively,
I like
better.
Darth Maul. It's probably not a popular opinion, but like I
he's
actually
cool.
think he's a cool character.
No, he's a very
I
cool
think he was
character.
one of the coolest characters from like the sequel.
I haven't heard one person, and because he wasn't tainted by the sequel.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen Solo, but I hear that he's like somewhat like a cameo in there. Type thing.
Darth Maul's in there?
They
like
he's in
a
Solo.
cameo.
He's in Solo.
He's such a beast.
They did
He
Darth
is.
Maul so well. Like,
Agreed.
Such a
The freaking
interesting
dual red
character.
lightsaber. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
but very mysterious too. Like they didn't like go too deep into his character.
He barely
didn't
talks much. He just has,
said
like,
like
deep, creepy
maybe one
voice.
line or two in the entire prequels, and he was just like, not only that, like the combat and like the fight scenes were so well choreographed in the prequels. Like that's what I care about. Like the story could have sucked, which it did in the new movies, but like they could have made really good choreographed fights, and I would have overlooked a lot of the bullshit, you know. But there was no really interesting fights in
not at all.
the new movies, as
And
far as I
felt,
can remember.
I felt like the love story between Ray and
bullshit.
I feel like it was so forced.
It was very forced unleashed. That was a great.
I didn't even mean that.
Those games are great.
My favorite Disney Star Wars movie though was Rogue One, hands down. I liked Rogue One.
I did like Rogue One.
I enjoyed that one. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I think with Darth Vader at the end, that was so fucking great.
Yes,
that was the best part. That was so hype.
That's one of the best.
Yes.
And like obviously it made some what is it? Plot hole problems.
Well, who cares?
But like, who cares?
It had a bit of a poetic ending.
It
You know?
was just like because like literally 30 seconds later after Darth Vader gets off of like that planet and then he like catches like Leia, he's like, "Where are you going?" A diplomatic mission after I just like blew up that planet. And he's like, unless Darth Vader is the most coy man on earth, and he just like let him go with it. But besides that, like no one cared. I think the prequels, the sequels had the exact opposite problem of the originals. So when you look into the originals, they didn't have a lot of budget, so they relied like only on practical effects.
Yeah.
If you brought the originals up to specs, like with all the digital
CGI and stuff,
all the CGI and stuff, and they took the same vibe, even if the choreography wasn't on point, which the choreography in the originals was still better than the
It was good,
it would still be. It would
there
still,
wasn't choreography in the sequel.
It would still be like way better.
It's so funny that we talk about this because it reminds me. Have any of you guys seen the new Mortal Kombat movie? I'm not gonna spoil it.
I downloaded it. I'm gonna watch it this week.
All right, I'm not gonna spoil it at all.
You can spoil
I
it.
actually
Well,
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's not good, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
It's a lot of fun to watch. But I actually have watched. I haven't watched the originals that much, but I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube of the original fight scenes and stuff like that. And I will say that the new one is actually really good. They have pretty good fight choreography. The story was kind of
fatalities really bloody because that's
there's a couple really good ones. Yeah, but But I will say, watching the new one, like I said, worth a watch. I'm actually, I anticipate a sequel, you know. And
I'm pretty sure there will be one.
I think there will be one.
If Venom gets a sequel, this better get a sequel.
Right. So, but anyway, I was looking back at some of the older movies, and we're talking about the older Star Wars movies and how like the fight choreography and like the lightsaber battles were kind of a little bit more satisfying with more practical effects and stuff like that. Looking back at the first Mortal Kombat, I don't know if have you seen the first one? Okay. Have you
Not all the way through. I've seen clips.
All right, so I'm talking about to myself. No, I will say the first Mortal Kombat, like it was very more back in the day. It was like early 90s. I don't know exactly the day. I think it was in the 90s. But like the fight scenes where it was a cheesy movie, but like the fight choreography was really good. Like the fight scenes were really good. You can tell that it was like very practical. You know, all the fights were really good. And the new one's good too. They had a lot of CGI, and the CGI wasn't terrible. But looking between the two, like I enjoyed the first I wouldn't say the remake, but the new Mortal Kombat. But I still enjoy the fights in the first movie from the 90s better. Like they still were more well put together, like filmed better. You could tell it was like less CGI. It was more about like real martial artists and like stuntmen like practicing getting hit and stuff like that. And it was just like, to me, is like it was the same with like the original Star Wars movies. Like the original 3, you know, were so much better than the new ones, and then the prequels were even better, you know, as far as like the fight choreography and
the effects and stuff.
And the effects, Man, I mean, they might not have the money for the CG and all that kind of stuff, but they didn't make up with it in any of the choreography or there was hardly any like lightsaber battles, and the ones you saw were kind of pathetic. You know what I mean?
Like the one after Snoke.
That was the only one that was
it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch,
but it was so garbage.
Bad.
Dude, it was literally like people throwing away their weapons and like standing like and they get hit.
But you know what's sad is like that's the most memorable of all the new ones to me. Like that's the only one I think back. I'm like that was kind of fun to watch
because they kind of built it up to be a cool scene, and then it was a cool scene.
It was
to
like
watch.
Snoke died so easily, and then like his royal guard like sucked, but they put up the most fight of any of the characters in any of the movies.
I think there's there's obviously like a whole plethora of like problems with the movies, and like it's not easy to make a film, so I try to be less critical than I have been. But okay, we care more about why the person swings the lightsaber than how he swings the lightsaber. So that's primary. And
even if they do it right, I don't even care if it's bad. Like do it. Make it look good.
I can stand bad choreography on a movie that I care a lot about the characters, but I don't like Rey. Right. I don't care about Finn.
Well, that's like, the thing that blew me away was like
I like the pilot.
They didn't get the story right, so they had all the money for the writers and everything to do like an interesting story, a unique one, or something that where you care about
the amount
characters.
Of resources that Disney has.
Unlimited resources.
Right? Yeah, it seems like it's impossible to
so unlimited. And I was really forgiving going to. I'm like, okay, if the story's not interesting, like I can overlook. I already talked about it. I can overlook it, but like they have so much resources, they could at least get the fighting and the CG and make that look interesting and cool. Yeah. Like either have good in story or good in the fighting, and like how did they fail at both? Because in my opinion, I'm like they had so much resources to have the best of the best, and they could not make either one work.
An absolute travesty, and like it bugs me that like they did so bad.
And they didn't make any interesting, cool characters. There was no Boba Fett's or anything like that. They tried to make like Captain Phasma.
They just brought people back.
Exactly. I was hyped.
Horrible. And I love that actess. She's amazing.
I liked Phasma.
She's a great actress, and they completely fucking wasted her.
She never talked.
I even liked the costume. I thought it was cool, like a chrome stormtrooper. I was like, initially I saw her, I was a little hyped. I'm like, okay, this is like the new Boba Fett. Like, I kind of like she's got a little baton. I'm like that. I can get behind it. I'm waiting for her to do something cool, and then she never did anything fucking cool in the entire movie.
TR-8R Traitor or whatever the guy was. So you know how he had the blood hand on him? Yeah. I hate that Disney did that, but they refused to show any actual violence.
Yeah,
it's like we'll show a blood hand on a helmet.
Yeah,
I will not.
There wasn't any blood in any of the movies.
But it's like
that was the first blood.
That's interesting because like how did that blood come about? Because they used blasters. It's like everything is cauterized. Like where did this blood come from?
Even though you're right about that. But my point is, if you're gonna show the blood, like you have to show dismemberment. You have to show all this stuff. Like you can't censor everything.
Disney has shown Thanos getting his head decapitated, so it's like they will do.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
It's not like a gory head decapitation. It's so clean, you know.
Okay, you saw Iron Man after he snapped, dude. He literally looked like burnt toast. That was pretty graphic.
We can't compare the Star Wars franchise to the Avenger franchise. It's made with a different intent. It was made for children.
I thought they were in the same universe. I'm joking. I was about to leave. No. I wish we had video just so you guys could have seen Garrett's brain wasn't processing.
I do remember Phasma.
He was about to ask to keep my desk.
I know you say same intent or different intent, but I would argue that they would actually treat the Avengers as more of something for kids to watch than Star Wars, in my honest opinion.
True, because a lot of people that watch Star Wars growing up are like 40s, 50s now.
That's what I'm saying. So if anything, they would be more careful on the Marvel movies.
I'm not against the whole super gore, but George Lucas intended it for children. So that's what I mean by intent.
I don't want super gore. I just want the consistency, you know.
He doesn't have a big hand in them anymore.
He should.
Have they ever explained how he bled though? I'm not even being an asshole.
No. Someone put their hand on his helmet. I don't know.
But I understand. But where did he bleed? Because it's all blasters and it's all lightsabers. Everything cauterizes. So where would the blood come from?
I don't think anyone cares.
Thermal detonator?
People are so mad.
I guess.
You're totally right. And in a good movie, people would point that out. But this wasn't a good movie, so there's so much content to get through before people are and it's at the end of the show, they'll be
but
like,
it's so weird. We explained there's no blood in any other Star Wars ever. I don't remember blood in any of the Star Wars. To be honest with you, it's always been laser weapons, and laser weapons are high fucking frequency blasts. It's there's no blood anywhere.
Mm-hmm. It's really, it doesn't make any sense, but
doesn't.
It never gets talked about because literally everyone's already
there's so many other things.
We just cornered the market on the blood hand.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah. It's like fucking the Castaway. Let's put a blood hand on a volleyball.
Yeah, it's so weird. I think so I came up with, I don't know if I remember it exactly, but I came up with how they should have done the Star Wars movies because I'm conceited like that, and I was like, I know how to do this better than they do.
You wrote a whole storyboard.
I almost did. I have
welcome to part 2 of the episode.
We're actually gonna film it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I think that the best way to have done the movie is
totally different from what they did.
Totally different, completely. Well, I was trying to keep the general elements. So obviously, what's his name? The director. There's 2 directors.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, and then the other guy.
Brian.
Whatever his name is, we don't care.
It's a funny thing.
They filmed Knives Out, and Knives Out was fucking amazing.
Knives Out was great. Okay, but here's why. I watched a lot. I watched way too much content on this again.
Yeah.
So.
Christian's leaving, by the way.
Okay, bye.
I'm here.
I'm gonna go. So what happened was that J.J. Abrams wrote the original script. So he wrote the script, and then he went forward with it. And then second movie, he got kicked off. And then they brought in whatever his name is, Ryan.
Ryan, you're right. It is Ryan.
Ryan, whatever his name is. But
Gosling.
Ryan trash can. Ryan trash can piece of garbage.
No, it was the guy from Deadpool, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan
Reynolds would have made an absolute slapper of
he would have.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen his wife.
Anyway, but then
Blake Lively.
Ryan totally messed up the. He decided he didn't like J.J. Abrams.
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Trash Can Johnson.
Nobody knows who that is. Even saying that, I'm I don't know who the fuck.
I know because Ryan Johnson is a yes man from Disney who just was supposed to be underneath the leader of the Star Wars section of Disney right now, and so she got him as a yes man. He completely took the script and was like, "Yeet," and he got rid of it, and then he decided to put in his own thing. So what we see.
So that's where the inconsistency with the storytelling comes from.
That's where all the inconsistency, most of it. So Ray being a nobody, was like, oh yeah, that's J.J. Abrams making her a nobody, and then Ryan Johnson's like, well, actually,
she's Palpatine's granddaughter, and Palpatine's still alive.
She might be Palpatine's clone's granddaughter. We're not exactly sure. And so
which is stupid.
So then Ryan Johnson did all that, and then J.J. Abrams basically gets this heaping pile of crap from Ryan Johnson, and then he's like, well. I think he just didn't care at that point. He's like, I'm just going to finish this to the best of my ability, or half of my. I think
there was disjointed storytelling there for sure. The two directors. I think they had different ideas going into it. You can kind of tell that
it was a rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah, there were certain elements that just didn't.
And it completely fucked up one of the most beloved franchises of all time.
Yeah, but to be fair, none of them were. Really watchable.
So the difference between the prequels and these, because no one liked the prequels either. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah, no, I remember.
There was a ton of hate for the prequels.
Yes. Yeah, when they came out.
And I fed into that because so that's what I'm.
And I do too.
I always like the prequels.
I initially saw them, and I remember Jar Jar Binks, and I remember thinking like there was a lot of hate, and I remember thinking like, I did like a lot of it, but. Yeah. Looking back now, retrospectively, I'm like, that was amazing.
Yeah, now we're really thankful for him. So, but like, I'm trying to be kind of objective because I want to be consistent with my opinion. So, but I don't think the sequels are going to hold up very well in the future.
No.
Especially, but
hold up very well as bad movies, or
I don't think they're going to hold up. So the prequels started as quote unquote bad movies that people didn't like, but still watched. But now we really, really like them because choreography, it's very quotable, it's very likable. But we still like
even at the time,
still like
there were certain things that I appreciated. I remember, not as a kid, but young adult, like I remember appreciating Liam Neeson's character. I remember like the CG was cool, and I remember seeing the fight scenes. I thought it was cool. I thought Darth Maul was cool. I thought Jar Jar Binks was a piece of shit, and I hated him.
They had Liam Neeson, Mace Windu.
Yes,
they had
Mace
so
Windu
many.
was really
they had
cool.
A ton of great.
Even Jango Fett.
Yeah, they had a ton of like good actors. Anyway, it held up because of a lot of the good things they did, and then the bad things they did become memes, and then that makes it even more popular.
Yeah.
But like
General Kenobi.
Like all the good stuff.
Hello there.
So you don't think that with the new movies,
there's nothing.
You don't think they can throw out 3 or 4 movies after this that will somehow make those original ones seen in a different light?
I don't think they can make them non-canon unless they had time travel, which I do not recommend.
Would you be in favor if they were to say, let's just forget this ever happened?
I would love to forget them, but I don't think that's a good idea.
What about? I need to watch. If they offer to do that, would you be in favor of it?
If I could get like the Men in Black like Flash, forget them.
Forget that it ever happened.
Yeah, forget them.
What about
like they don't exist?
But if Disney asked you to forget them, but you still remember them,
I don't know.
What about the Grandfather Paradox? We just go back in time and
if we go back and just kill Ryan Johnson,
Ryan Gosling,
Ryan Johnson.
We can go back.
We
can't kill the directors of these movies.
I gotta tell Christian my least favorite part about the sequels.
Isn't Gosling in Venom? We'll kill him too.
literally, my least favorite thing about these sequels was in The Rise of Skywalker, the newest one, the ending to their trilogy.
Yeah.
The entire movie was spent trying to get Rey to accept that she was a Palpatine. She's like, okay, I'm a Palpatine. I can be good. I can live with this. And then the end of the movie, someone asked her what her name is, and she goes, I'm Rey Skywalker.
That's such a triggering thing.
Pissed me off. That was my least favorite thing about this. I was like, you literally just spent 2.5 hours trying to tell me she's cool with being a Palpatine. And now she's she wants to be a Skywalker. Like, motherfucker.
This pains me so much. It hurts my soul.
Yeah. All of those movies are bad.
It's just bad.
So let me ask you guys. You've only watched one of them new ones. We've all seen all.
I've seen all 3.
Right? What's the most memorable scene or anything memorable about the sequels?
The best bittersweet moment that I really, really liked was when Luke Skywalker walks onto the Salt battlefield against the Walkers and takes on an entire army.
That's interesting.
That's
interesting for a little bit. Yeah.
That actually
gave you goosebumps.
Gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
I was so pumped for it
until you realize what actually happens.
And then it's the most memorable because it was so hype. It was the most hype moment. And then it was the most disappointing moment I've ever seen in a movie. Like it's one of the most
I completely 100% agree.
The most memorable to me is Adam Driver shirtless because it was a meme for so long. Ben Swallow.
Yeah.
I love that actually.
I think the most memorable scene for me was I think it was the first of the sequels, the very beginning of the movie before the blood handprint sequence we talked about. Was when I saw Kylo initially, and he had his helmet on and everything, and he was in the first scene, I think in the first movie, and he freezes the blaster.
That was
I was like, dude,
that actually is pretty cool.
I saw it with my brother. Yeah, I saw it with my brother, and we were actually at a small theater in our local town. And
it's gone. You can name it. Yeah, no one can look it up anymore.
Cinema 6 or something. I don't know.
Center 6.
Yeah. And I remember looking at my brother and we were both, and you could hear his voice was augmented. And I'm like, that sounds pretty cool, right? And I was like, dude, he just froze that blaster. That's pretty dope. And I remember getting kind of hype. I'm like, okay, because I had my reservations going into it. I'm like, I don't know, Disney, But then it went downhill from there.
If they had 3 to 4 scenes that were half as good as that one, it would have been a good movie.
I agree. And it was I was really hyped going into it, and then then the first scene I saw him without his helmet, and he was like, I think it was like he's in the elevator, and he's like fucking slashing at the wall. He's throwing a fucking tantrum. Like this guy's a fucking.
That was hilarious.
It's so hard to mess up Star Wars.
It is. It's so funny how they had so much money. And it's such a beloved franchise with so much. It's like they still did it. That's almost like it's almost.
I gotta say, Galaxy's Edge at Disney. I went a few months ago. It actually is pretty cool.
Is it? Yeah.
I gotta say, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's not when it's super busy and not during COVID, but I could see if I were to go there during a normal time. Yeah. It would have been a lot of fun. I did go on one of the rides. I tried to go on two, but I got fucked out of the instant queue or whatever because they're doing the line queues now.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good time.
I think I kind of try one to. I think I go. Do you want to?
Wait, were you a writer on the new Star Wars movies?
Maybe. I wrote all the dialogue.
Okay.
So
makes sense now.
But okay.
I love the movies.
How would you fix the Star Wars movie? Like if you had to rewrite the plot slightly, delete backspace a lot.
Destroy the servers.
If you want to take the
execute Order 66,
the central plot and make it better, how would you think about doing that?
Like the whole idea of them just basically recreating the first three movies. Like script for script. Like I understand to a degree they're like trying to project it to the younger audiences who have never seen the original trilogy, and it's like the first movie was, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it like almost word for word, like not word for word, but like the plot was so similar.
It was like
to the first Star Wars movie.
It was basically like the originals, but with ADHD. Because it was Kylo's got this cool mask. It was like voice augmenter, but he can't keep his mask on for more than one second.
Yeah, it was like TikTok version of the first Star Wars.
Would you have kept Han Solo alive, or would you have still killed him?
What I would have done is I think it should have ended after the original trilogy. So if I were to rewrite this, like make a completely different script, I would go with a Jedi on a distant planet who has his own adventure on his own planet. Like he doesn't leave the planet. Like it's just one Jedi who discovers the Force and then has his own adventure there.
And he has no super parents or anything.
Yeah, and keep it very small and keep it isolated. So get it away from there. So just
like
get it away.
Solo film.
Like maybe he had some run-in with Obi-Wan while he was running away, but it was isolated. It wasn't on a desert planet. It wasn't on Endor. It was isolated, a new planet, new things to see and to do with Star Wars, and just keep it separate and just keep it there. Maybe he travels to a planet. He learns the Force a lot like Star Wars Rebels did. That would be the best way. That would be the best. But with the plot is what I want to see is how would you fix the sequels and
I wouldn't bring the Emperor back.
And then Rey isn't a Palpatine.
No, horrible.
Rey isn't a Palpatine. Yeah, we'll just go with that.
No. I would have liked it more as the new Jedi that you're talking about to be kind of just some random person.
Yeah.
I would have recommended that.
Now, what I like is that I read a lot of Legends, so the original books. So what I would go for is basically the Han Solos have siblings, and then one of the siblings die because that's what happens in Legends, and then you get to watch the characters react and grow based off of that instance, and that's a really good way to grow characters is killing off the older brother character, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
For one thing, you can't keep Han Solo alive. He would actually hate you for it.
Oh yeah, he was the actor Harrison Ford.
He would be very pissed if you kept him alive.
He could be dead already. You don't have to keep him alive.
By the way, he's
gone.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Or gone.
He's the funniest guy. By the way, just a side tangent. If you ever seen the interviews with him, it's fucking the funniest shit ever. Because this guy's legendary actor, right?
He acts like he hates the movie.
He's yes.
It's almost like I came back for a paycheck. Story suck. I shouldn't be alive, but it's paycheck. That's his.
I literally watched a video on YouTube of him going through his timeline of all the movies he's been in, fucking Indiana Jones and Star Wars. He's done a lot of shit, and it's he's the most uninterested person ever. He's like, yeah, I did the Star Wars movies and they were okay, and then I did the Indiana Jones things. Yeah, those were cool. He's he just was not interested, but it's very grounded,
It almost kind of feels like one of those things where if you were to go up to him at a grocery store, you almost wouldn't want to say, "Hey, I liked you," and it's almost like he would be angry by it.
Slap him in the box. Slap him in the face with a box of Fruity Pebbles.
Or a bottle of ranch.
A glass bottle.
Glass jar.
At the local convenience store.
He'd hit you upside the head. Yeah.
But it's
but in a way, it's humbling. He's very old fashioned. He's not he's not on a soapbox.
He's not an asshole.
He is I'm Han Solo or I'm Indiana Jones. This is a job I did. it was cool, but I moved on from that.
But I want him to feel passionate about it, because it's weird to see me more passionate about something I didn't even actually
they
do
should
the job.
be very thankful and very happy for the things they have done.
Steve Carell's kind of like that too with The Office.
I'm sure.
Interviews. He doesn't.
I haven't seen interviews
because he doesn't like to be known. I guess that's what it is. No, that is what it is.
He doesn't want to be
Han Solo
known
doesn't
as
want to
that.
be only known as Star Wars. He wants his other lower.
You don't want to be like
less
stereotype
projects to get.
Type.
And same with Steve Carell. He wants to be known as more than just Michael Scott.
40-year-old virgin. Yeah.
Or Evan Almighty.
I know him as Brick.
I know him
as Brick personally.
I know him as Evan Almighty.
Brick?
That was my first Steve Carell
from
movie.
Anchorman.
Oh! Whoa! You gotta know that.
Sorry.
Okay. You're right.
I apologize.
Which is my favorite.
Anchorman gotta hit me hard
Steve
there.
Carell's like, where'd you get the grenade?
Amazing guy, though. Yeah.
Brick is my favorite.
So what would you do with the movie? You saw the first one. You hated it, right? I would hope.
I find his killer.
What would I do?
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I didn't dislike. Like I said, I just wasn't objectively attached to any of the characters.
Yeah, that's a hard.
It doesn't get better.
After I've seen the next two, maybe I could give you like a
Doesn't get
Well,
better.
you have homework.
For me, the most memorable scene was definitely when I think of that movie. I think about Kylo Ren stabbing and killing Han Solo. Like that was
that in the first one?
I think so.
That was like
I'm pretty positive.
the later middle of the first one. Yeah.
That was definitely
storytelling.
They all run together.
It's hard. For a second, I was like, "Is that the first one?" But I know it is because I've seen that one. But Kylo Ren doesn't show up for a while. He's not really in it much.
He's like slashing elevator doors and stuff.
Yeah. And then stabs Han Solo, and Han Solo had the most exciting part of his
He's
life.
the only guy that can understand Chewbacca too. Like
who's
Chewbacca gonna talk to now?
Golly,
you can't understand it.
Even cheaper on the CGI budget. We don't have to use Chewbacca anymore.
Yeah, to get rid of that.
Nobody
fucker.
understands him anyway.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
I think if I had to remake the first,
Send him back to Mexico.
Like the first movie, I came up with like a general plot, but like the first movie, you start like you see a planet, you don't know what planet it is, you dive down into it, and you have like hooded figures running through the forest, like, and then and you got drones. Like drones chasing them, firing at them, and they're dodging, jumping off trees with their force powers, but you don't know who they are. Yeah. And then they land in an open field against another hooded figure who whips out a lightsaber, and they start having a lightsaber duel completely cloaked. Yeah, and then the one in the middle just completely outclasses them in every way. Yeah. And then he reveals that it's Luke Skywalker, and it's like he's like, "All right, you guys are done for today. Go back." And then they get then they're back, and it's the three Solo kids, and then there's the order Skywalker child, and then they're there, and then some other people, and then they start doing some character development, and then that would be such a cool opening scene. That would be so much hype.
What I find was something that bad angle they should have went in, that they went in starting out. They were basically like, like all the Jedi are annihilated, nobody can use the Force anymore, and like there's hardly any Sith left, and I mean the whole traditional Sith is like a master and there's only two usually.
Rule of two.
Yeah, rule of two.
But
it's like if you're gonna start a new trilogy, it's like that's not interesting. Like they should have harbored. There should be like academy somewhere. It's like it's not an interesting universe to jump into where it's desolate. Where there's certain movies where that's interesting, where it's like Mad Max or something, where it's like the end of the world, apocalypse. There's nothing, no humanity's still alive. But like when you're watching a sci-fi movie with lightsaber combat and like special superpowers, like you don't want to be like, well, nobody can use this anymore. And it's like this person kind of can, and then just randomly pick up a lightsaber and they're like, yeah, they can use it pretty good.
That makes me.
That's not interesting at all. Like why would you even go into that world like that? Like if it's not worth, like we're talking about, it's not worth making the movie if that's the way you're gonna tell the story. Don't make the movie 3 movies about a world like that when that magic in the world's gone basically. There's nobody that can conjure it anymore. It's not fun. It's not worth watching.
Aren't they making another Star Wars, bringing back the actors that played young Anakin and young Obi-Wan? Right?
Like
I'm interested in
shows,
that.
I think, right?
Kenobi.
Aren't they doing TV shows
for Disney Plus?
Disney Plus doing a lot of stuff.
That'll be hype.
They're doing Obi-Wan. The Bad Batch started, I think, yesterday or the day before, and that's
really good.
animated.
I would love to see a Dark trilogy movie. So like probably Darth Bane. They do a Darth Bane origin story.
It'd be good if they did like a Sith trilogy.
Yeah, Darth Bane is probably where you want to go with that because like Plagueis and Sidious, they're all like already bad people. Yeah. But Darth Bane was like, hey, he's like a slave on this planet working in like basically their equivalent of a coal mine, and he's like surrounded by like rough, and then he just realizes that he can use the Force, like that he taps into his dark emotions and uses the Force, and then gets whisked away to this like training camp for Sith. And it's like back when anyone could be a Smith and they could have hundreds.
That's a way more interesting idea.
Like, and it's so good. And he's an anti-hero until he's not, and then when he doesn't, he's like so cool. And then it's great. I love the whole. It's the whole thing is like such a good story.
Yeah. But that sounds pretty interesting. That's where Star Wars should go back. Like back in time. If there's nothing interesting in the future, like we need to go back. You know what I mean?
I'd like to see an origin story on that.
I want to see Star Wars.
Grievous is actually
Grievous is my favorite person from Star Wars.
I honestly, looking back, I did not care for him.
I was like,
I didn't care for him watching the original trilogies, but like playing Battlefield 2 and like looking into his history a little bit more, I'm like, he was an interesting character.
There can probably be some crazy emotional story where him as like a small kid.
I actually looked into a little bit of his story. Yeah, he was like, his planet basically was like he was treated like shit. His people were treated like shit. And he rebelled and started fighting back and was fighting against his slavers basically. And then the Jedi came and they were like, you know, they're like, you can't stop this. Yeah, they didn't help them. Yeah. They stopped them from fighting and winning the war. And like the Jedi, that's why he hates the Jedi, because the Jedi didn't help him. They basically helped put them down. Like you can't fight back against these slavers.
That's what you gotta remember. Everyone's a hero of their own story.
Yeah,
everyone's a hero of their own story. You saw it from his view. It might make the Jedi look like villains.
Well, the Jedi were kind of assholes.
They were the villains.
Yeah, they were. To be fair,
the Jedi kind of sucked.
If you go back to the history,
kind of like the United States and how like in the past, you know, how they would just like slaughter a bunch of people to take their land. And like it seems like an innocent thing.
I'm gonna have to censor all of this.
Sorry about that.
It's just history clause.
Redacted.
If you go back to like again Darth Bane, what you get into is the rule of two. You get how that comes about because Darth Bane is the one who implemented the rule of two, and like that whole story would lead directly into the prequels, and that would be cool because then you get some backstory, some context, and people would love that. They would eat it up, and like a dark trilogy would be better for the older audience. And
it would be.
It would be more fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's really dark.
It's not all really cool. Like rainbows and sunshine.
So dark. You must be from the DC universe.
It's really cool.
And a lot of people that watch Star Wars now are the older audience.
Yeah,
they are.
Well,
definitely.
Dude, if you guys got, I don't even know if the books still exist. They might just be gone. Disney might have just redacted them. But like, if the way they trained was like they had these these special metal bats basically that they used as lightsabers, and they had like
they used
poison on them, and if you got hit, you would just lose. Like you would have like your arm would feel like you got chopped off, and they would train like that for like days on end. It was so cool.
They had like before the lightsabers, they were like swords and stuff.
They're great,
like actual like medieval swords that they imbued with like powers.
Beskar steel.
Yeah, they could do. They could do Beskar. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be good. Even Old
Knights of the Old Republic. You guys ever played those?
Movie?
No.
The cinematics in the Knights of the Old Republic was better than the
vibranium swords and shit.
It was so good. Like no, everyone knows that. The cinematics were better than the whole entire.
You know, Ubisoft is making a free roam Star Wars game now that EA doesn't have the license anymore.
Yeah,
really?
I think they're gonna make another Knights of the Old Republic game too.
That's next gen, yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Next gen free roam Star Wars. I have no idea.
They were
I just know they're working on it
for a while back, and then they got. EA canceled a free roam type Star Wars game.
What was that single player type Star Wars game that came out not that long ago?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Is that good?
Delicious.
It's like Dark Souls kind of ish.
It's very good. It's made by Respawn.
The combat.
It's either made by From or Respawn. I'm not sure which one. I think it was Respawn.
PS4, wasn't
it? Is it Respawn?
PS4 and Xbox. It's either FromSoft or Respawn. I think it's Respawn, but I could be wrong.
Either one would make sense because it's very like Dark Souls-y. Like,
should I play it?
Yeah,
it's very good. Yes, I recommend it. They actually just buffed it today because of May the 4th.
Really?
To go on the PS5. They not buff it, but they so a lot of the too powerful. a lot of the really like popular PS4 games they're not redoing, but they're making
like upgrading.
They're upgrading the graphics and stuff so they can play on the PS5.
You got an FPS upgrade?
So it's not OP.
Yeah,
it's
really good. I recommend it. You could borrow them if you wanted.
It's base.
I have it digitally downloaded. I got it on my Xbox One. It was the actual edition that I bought with my Xbox One. It was the Fallen Order. And it came.
Yeah.
Fallen Order 2?
Digital code.
Is that something coming out in the future?
It's probably going to come out. Yeah. I mean, Fallen Order 1 did so well.
So if you've ever seen Shameless, you ever watched
Who's the character in this?
The guy there's a redheaded kid. He like
character.
He's just a new character. I forget his name, honestly.
Yeah.
Cal.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of the Star Wars games done that. Like if you've ever played what was the one Unleashed? Star Wars Unleashed. there was an actor, like they took his personality, like his look, and made him as
they put the white balls on him, and they tracked his
face and everything, like like the actor, he looked just like him. It's just like with the Fallen Order, the guy that plays Cal is like an actual person, and it's like they took his likely.
It kind of looks like the guy from Riverdale.
Almost looks like Archie. Yeah, Archie.
It's probably the same actor because he was on Shameless and
AJ something other stuff. Is the actor's name?
Yeah, it's an actual actor. Yeah, cool. It's pretty cool.
The whole Star Wars franchise.
I want to finish that, by the way. I haven't finished.
That's great.
I played through.
It's such a shame that like the video games are masterpieces, and then the everything else is like pretty trash. It's like
even the story in Fallen Order is really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
like really
story, the visuals, the fighting, everything is really good in there. Man.
It's just, I think they just need to make Star Wars smaller, and that's why I think Han Solo did, or the Han Solo.
It would have been great, like you said, if they made it. They didn't have to make it like galactic, like especially the first sequel to it. They didn't have to go like grand scale with it. They could have just done like a small planet and you find a new character, just like the original Star Wars. The first one was Luke. It wasn't this huge adventure right away. It was just some guy on a fucking desert planet, like trying to figure shit out.
And we want a passion project. That's what The Mandalorian was, and that's why it did so well. Is because
Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau.
They were like, we really like this franchise, and we want to make something really cool, but let's not blow it. Let's make it really cool. Take an abstract like aspect of the franchise, and we'll just run off of that. And they did well. And like The Mandalorian, I haven't really watched it actually, but like
I've seen the first season,
I know,
but I haven't watched.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to.
It's just kind of. It is tropey. Like they have the same plot in every episode. Or like basically, it's like
you get a task. You task.
It's cool, but like they do it well. So
it's fun to watch.
It's fine. It's a TV show.
I think it's well done too. I do. Honestly.
And so
is it one season?
Because it's a passion.
2 seasons.
Yeah, it's a passion.
2 8-episode seasons.
It is, yeah.
They gotta make a season.
And
I'm not sure.
It's like got that dark element too. It's not like super lighthearted. I mean, it's pretty lighthearted.
It's good. And no one. It's good. That's the thing. It's like I don't feel like anyone who made the sequels like cared for the sequels. Like J.J. Abrams is like, I like Star Wars. Like, okay, sure.
Explosions.
Ryan Johnson.
J.J. Abrams is like, I like money, Disney.
Ryan Johnson's like, I love this. I love the growing up in here, but I want it to be more like. He said something stupid. Ryan Johnson had the stupidest.
If they would have gave Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau control of the movies, it would have been.
He's like, my last name sounds like a dick.
Imagine if the movie was the Mandalorian trilogy. If it was a Mandalorian trilogy.
How do you think about it? Star Wars being popular right now is mostly because of that show.
Yeah.
Even in like fourth grade and just
Mandalorian's
kind of you don't think about the movies, you think about the Mandalorian right now.
And I'm excited for the Obi-Wan series because
it's a passion.
The guy who played Anakin is supposed to be coming back. I forget his name.
Yeah, and they love the franchise. The guy who plays Darth Maul, he still does He's
a stunt driver, or not stunt driver.
Yeah.
Stunt actor, I'm pretty sure.
He still does. He loves the fans.
He's just driving into buildings now.
He still does like tricks for the fans like all the time. He's so cool.
It's weird because he was a stunt artist guy, and he became the character.
The face of Maul.
Yeah. He almost got paralyzed. Actually, I was watching it on like a behind the scenes thing where like he got knocked down and like the pad was supposed to come up and stop him, and it like went too hard and like he thought he was going to be paralyzed because he broke his back. But
it's I try not to be too toxic when it comes to Star Wars.
So he's done filming.
Like I'm obviously pretty.
It was
mad.
like during Phantom Menace or whatever when he was doing that one fight scene.
Did he have to come back and finish?
Yeah, he came back and finished it. Yeah, but he didn't get paralyzed. But luckily, but he got hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, it's I try not to be like too mad about Disney like in Star Wars because like the guy who played Jar Jar Binks, you guys have heard of like what happened to him, right?
No.
Nope.
Like,
he didn't commit suicide, did he?
He tried.
Really?
As far as like what I know, like
he failed at that too?
He got like no. It's just the fan base was so toxic to this guy who was just there for a paycheck.
So why didn't they like turn him into Darth Jar Jar? That would have been redeeming him completely.
That could be the next trilogy.
That'd be so bad. There's a reason they didn't put Jar Jar.
It wouldn't have been bad. It would have been great. They would have redeemed him completely.
But like basically like the fan base was so toxic. So imagine how toxic the fan base is now. Yeah. But like before there was a really wide like when social media was like
people didn't just accept that Disney already ruined it.
Yeah. So
they
like,
actually had expectations.
So I'm let me look at him real quick. I want to see. Hopefully it's not a. Okay. So let's see.
Misa.
The biggest reason he's hated is because Jar Jar was created by Lucas in an attempt to appeal to children and provide some comic relief. The second reason that Jar Jar incited so much criticism is the character's racist undertones.
Yeah, they were saying it was like racist, but that's not. No, that's so fake. That's so fake. People hated the character That's so like 2021 like retelling of history.
No more dating game.
That's ridiculous.
We're back and we're round two. Spontaneous.
I don't have any more questions. Those 11 took me long enough.
Jar Jar Binks, like, he's not going to be part of Obi-Wan, so that's good. Because he's not a good character. But like the actor like stopped acting. Like they basically like bullied him out of acting. He had like mental health issues. Like it's really sad. Like just because like he had a bad draw on the actor board and he didn't have any say in his character, that they take it personally. Like he couldn't have acted that role any better. Yeah. He really couldn't act that any better than he did, to be quite honest, with the character. Lisa. Yeah, so but yeah, so that's the one thing that, like, if anyone, like, don't get mad at the actors for being in a bad movie. That's like, yeah, that's really trash. That's really, you're a garbage human being unless you're railing on Ryan Johnson, in which case they totally deserve it.
He's not even in it.
Yeah, they were talking about yeah. Have you seen the deleted clip of Jar Jar Binks like dying? No. He like falls off a waterfall. Like it's like a clip. They're like, oh yeah, he was supposed to die.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty dark.
He was off a waterfall. Or he got saved by Obi-Wan. It was pretty fun.
I'm playing Darth Vader voiced by Jar Jar Binks in the background.
Jar Jar Binks is hilarious. There's a clip. There's a whole what is it? It's another cut of Star Wars where like the body guy who played Darth Vader, who was completely different than the voice actor, like James Earl Jones, I believe was the voice actor the guy who actually did the body acting of Darth Vader. He did
the voice. James Earl Jones.
No, he's talking about the other guy.
The guy who did the body. The guy who did the body. He thought he was actually doing the lines, but he's like this gigantic, like, he had some.
He died last year, I think.
Yeah. He had some kind of. He had like an Irish or Scottish or something accent.
Yeah.
So originally he thought he was doing all the lines, so he would say the lines. So he would say the lines, and then they voiced it all over. So there's a clip out there of this guy, this Darth Vader with a Scottish accent, like running around, like Darth Vader being like, "Oi, Luke," or whatever. Luke, you boy, and like, yeah. So there's like that. I want to see that. I'd pay money.
Yeah,
Disney,
I would like to find an Irish version of Star Wars.
That would be so good.
That'd just get fucked up at the pub with the weird aliens with the butt heads playing the flutes. Just spend the whole movie in there and just getting drunk fighting people.
Instead of like the cantina music, it's just like full Irish.
It's like Dropkick Murphys or something.
That'd be so funny. Actually, I would love that. I love that whole thing. I'd love that. Yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. I'd pay money to go to a theater that I'm allowed to go to.
You would?
No, I wouldn't.
I heard they're re-releasing the three new ones in theaters, trying to get
theaters
people
are of the devil. Yeah. We don't go to.
No. You want to go watch them again in the theater? The three new ones?
Watch Demon Slayer with us.
Re-release?
No, the theater.
Hey, have you seen that yet?
Nope. See that Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Oh, no.
What are you saying?
Demon Slayer.
Are you watching the subtitle or the dub?
Oh, we're watching sub.
It's subbed. It's subbed in the movie.
It's subbed and dubbed in the movie.
I guess I'm not going with you then.
That's
yeah.
You can sit in the other theater while we watch sub.
Yeah, we have a subbed only, and then we have
subs and dubs.
You're dubbed, and I'm subbed usually.
That'll be a topic next week.
Yeah,
which is better
next week.
Speaking of which, you guys ready to call an episode here?
I am good to go.
Fucking weeb.
May the 4th be with all of them.
Yeah, May the 4th. Thank you for tuning in. Wait, I got one more story that I want to bring up.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Is this intertwined into a dad joke?
Yes.
I've been foiled.
Yeah.
So there's a new law.
The Star Wars. Really?
There's a new law in Hawaii. Everyone there's pretty happy. You know, they smile and laugh a lot. Laugh so much that they actually made a law where you cannot laugh above a certain decibel. So no longer can you laugh out loud. People there can only do aloha from now on.
Good one.
Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for happy May the 4th. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And have a great night.
Until next time, guys.
And review, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, follow us on Twitter at MindHops. From there, you can get updates and submit questions for upcoming shows. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.